You with Match Day on BBC Radio Suffolk. We are back at Portman Road for this afternoon's main feature. Ipswich Town at home to Tottenham Hotspur in the Premier League. Mick Mills and Brenna Woolley both set for commentary.
Suffolk Town build on the feel-good factor that's returned of late by securing their first double of the season. There's no doubting beating Coventry to move to within 2 wins of Wembley, and last weekend's superb draw at Aston Villa have boosted morale and belief amongst fans, even to the point that many are almost expecting them to get something from both of these next 2 games against Tottenham today and the Manchester United away on Wednesday. First things first, though, and that's Spurs' visit this afternoon, an encounter that brings back glorious memories of the 10th of November when the Blues finally got their first 3 points of the season. So what chance to repeat this afternoon? Well, while Ange Postecoglou's side's been more missed than hit this season, on their day they are a force. They followed up that loss to Ipswich with a 4-0 win at Manchester City in their next game. Perhaps a lot depends on which Tottenham turns up, although Town just have to focus on themselves. That'll hopefully be good enough to bag their second home win of the campaign. Mick, how are you feeling about these 2 games as a pair? Because fans have understandably lumped them together.
Well, I think the fans are doing exactly the right thing, and it's just you've got to hope that the team can do the same, is have that belief that there's an opportunity for possibly the first time to beat these 2 teams in the same season, you know, because you look at Tottenham and you've got to say that they've had an awful season. It's possibly going to be their worst season in the last sort of 10 league position wise, but I do put that down to injuries. But with regards to Manchester United, I think it's mismanagement, and I think it's a lazy group of players. Enormous problems at Old Trafford, it really is, you know. So, you know, what you've got to do with these 2 games is you've got to remove the banners that the players play under. Remove that name Tottenham Hotspur, remove that name Manchester United. Just focus on the team that you're playing against, and just have a little look at how they've been doing recently. Well, the answer to that is they've been doing absolutely nothing, and they are both beatable. So this is really, for me, this one and on Wednesday, you've got to play your mind, you've got to work your mind, you've got to believe that you can beat these 2 teams, because they have in awful times. Don't let them come out of the disappointments that they're both having at your expense. You know, just, you know, hammer that now in, you know, just put the final now in, you know, that's what you've got to do. You've got to really believe there's a chance, there's a real chance.
Both sides out here on the playing surface at Portman Road, which does look terrific. Ange Postecoglou, the visiting manager, just applauding the crowd on this near side as he walks along the touchline with numerous members of his entourage. Kieran McKenna will be following as off go the pyrotechnics far side, just adding to the atmosphere as usual here for a league game this season. Well, for any game, in fact, barely a seat visible to the naked eye. It's going to be another 29,000 plus crowd here for this Premier League game 26 of the season for both these sides. Ipswich Town 18th in the table, 2 points behind Wolves, 13 behind Tottenham. Tottenham are at 12th in the table heading into this match. So then, the team news, as far as Ipswich Town are concerned, first of all, no Twanzebe serving a 1-match ban for his red card at Villa Park, and Ciso is out with a knee injury. Townsend and Johnson drop to the bench. In come the reinforcements in wide areas: Godfrey, Davis, Philogene and Clark. Palmer makes his home debut in goal. What a performance from him in the West Midlands a week ago. His back 4: Godfrey, O'Shea the captain, Greaves and Davis. Then a 2 of Phillips and Kayuste. No big surprise, they were terrific a week ago. Then it's Philogene, Hutchinson and Clark in support of Delap, who's got 2 goals in his last 3 games. Delap, one of the 2 goal scorers alongside Smodix when Town won at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium a few months ago. On the bench, Murrich, Morsey, who's back fit, Wolfenden, Taylor, Johnson, Townsend, Smodix also fit again. That's good to see. Hurst and Broadhead. Connor Chaplin back in training, but doesn't quite make the 20 on this occasion. 3 changes made by Spurs, who are playing in white, blue, white. Ipswich Town, incidentally, in their blue shirts with a white pinstripe, white shorts and blue socks. The 3 changes see Porro, Davis and the goal scorer Maddison drop out from their 1-0 win over Manchester United last Sunday. In come Gray, Udogie and Johnson. Vicario is the visitors' keeper. A back 4 of Spence, Gray, Danso and Udogie. Their 3-man midfield: Bergval, Bentancur, Kulusevski. The new rival, the Frenchman on loan from Bayern Munich, leads the line through the centre. Tell, probably Johnson will play off to his right. Son Heung-min, the captain, off to his left. On the bench, Kinski's the sub-keeper, Porro, Reguilon, Bissouma, Sarr, Maddison, Moore, Audebert and Scarlett. What do you make of the decision to have Sam Morsy on the bench? That's been a real rarity over the last few seasons for league games, Mick.
Well, you know, I've said before, he's been absolutely exceptional. He's been a great signing. He had 2 fabulous years here in the first division and the championship where he controlled matches. He really did. He was outstanding, but I just have a feeling that he's just stepped up to a level that he can't quite cope with, and I think that these two are definitely getting the vote because they're more athletic than Sam Morsy. Nothing else, they're more athletic, and I think at the moment that is what we do lack in those areas. You know, I think that we have to be more competitive in the centre of midfield, and we do. This season we're having a lot less of the ball. Sam comes out, he blossoms when his team have the ball because he's exceptional when he's on the ball. So I think the choice is right.
Almost ready to get underway on BBC Radio Suffolk Sport. Every kick of every Ipswich Town game this season. Probably worth noting the referee, a controversial figure. Tim Robinson, his last appearance here was when he turned down the penalty appeal for Connor Chaplin before sending off Calvin Phillips just a few minutes later in that draw with Leicester City. So a lot of eyes on his particular performance this afternoon. As play gets underway, it's Tottenham with Kulusevski, who gets the ball back to Gray, the former Leeds man. He plants it forward. It's an easy take for Dara O'Shea. Back to Ben Godfrey, the loan signing from Atalanta. Here's Philogene, another arrival in the January window. Good play from Philogene, finding Kayuste. Lovely touch forward from the Swede. Then he gives it to Delap. Delap might have a chance. Delap in on goal. Inside the area, Liam Delap. Saved by Vicaria. Philogene! Surely that's gone over the line. Surely Town have scored. What's the referee going to say here? He's checked his watch and it didn't cross the line. The flag is up near side, but what an explosive start that was from Ipswich. That was brilliant football, worthy of a goal, but sadly it's not arrived.
It looks like an offside flag, this one, but what a lovely move. Tottenham awful from the kick-off. The ball that was pumped was just Dara O'Shea's ball, so it was Ipswich Town possession. From that moment onwards, clever play. Kajus did wonderful work, and then we are so unlucky not to go in front.
I think the ball actually crossed the line, but the decision had been made by the referee and his assistants. But it was initially terrific ball from Philogene infield to Kayuste. Terrific first touch from Kayuste, which got Ipswich Town on the front foot. As play gets back underway with Gray, and then he gave the ball away terribly straight to Dara O'Shea. It was a bizarre one from Archie Gray, still 18 years of age. It's a season of much learning for him. He's got a lot of experience, Gray, but very rarely in his favoured midfield role. He's played right back, left back, he's centre half this afternoon. Certainly one for the future. He'll be better off for this experience. That was poor from him. Play back underway. It's Bergvall down the left-hand side, taking on Philogene, who slipped on the slick surface. Back in field to Gray, who played here in the Championship. Now it's with Spence. Terrible pass from Spence, way behind Johnson on the far side. Quick throw-in taken by Town. Here is Delap, who could have some joy against this Tottenham backline. Delap inside the area. Liam Delap with a chance. He's prodded it wide, but already the former Manchester City player causing all sorts of problems at the back for Tottenham.
Well, absolute stupidity down the Tottenham right-hand side. First of all, Brennan Johnson, ball goes out of play. He goes to sleep instead of taking up a good position. Leif Davis just throws it beyond him, so he's out of the game. And then Jed Spence, does he not know we're in the month of March? Does he not know that Liam Delap is very, very quick with or without the ball? Because he just idled. Unbelievable play by Tottenham.
Really fancies this, but then when doesn't he? But he certainly looks like he could get an awful lot of joy from those two centre-halves of Tottenham, because Dancer's just a new arrival. Talked about Gray a few moments ago. Kayuste, excellent play in midfield, just eventually outnumbered. It's Johnson, the Wales international, of course, son of David Johnson, such a popular player here. His dad when he was a striker very early on this century. Wide on the left to Udogie, trying to take on O'Shea for pace. Udogie's beaten him inside the area. Still Udogie. Eventually O'Shea gets back. Palmer makes a good block on the outskirts of his 6-yard area. And he stayed down after taking a little knock from Udogie, and the referee signalled towards the Ipswich Town bench. Well, what a 3.5 minutes we've had here.
What a start. Udogie, unbelievable. Couldn't believe that he's gone past Dara O'Shea so easily, but he did. But Alex Palmer, brilliant. He's made his mind up. He's come in. He's going to take this ball at the feet of the opponent. Good save. He's got that ball in his arms before he sort of lands at the ground. That's good play. But this is exciting stuff.
Yes, what I expected from this game, really. I thought we would see plenty attacking football. Hasn't been a 0-0 between these two sides in the last 35 meetings, 51 years in fact, as the ball is dropped down by Palmer in all yellow in front of the north stand. From left to right he plays that kick. Danso heads it away from Son, out on this near side for a throw into Ben Godfrey, gets it to Phillips. There's Godfrey again. He's closed down by Bergval. Tell lifts the ball over the top of Kayuste, then he's brought down the Frenchman, just 19 years of age, Matthias Tell, very, very highly rated, but of course he's just finding his feet in English football. His only goal so far has been in the FA Cup. There is Johnson, who actually played alongside Alex Palmer when both were on loan at Lincoln a few years ago. Danso, nudged by Hutchinson. Danso loses the ball eventually to Philogene. Philogene with some quick feet goes infield. The ball pops out nicely for Calvin Phillips. On the right, Amari Hutchinson, the number 20, wants to take on Danso. Got the beating of him. Danso fouls him right under the nose of the referee's assistant. Tanner got a free kick on the left back berth outside the Tottenham area.
Yeah, free kick out on the touchline, but I wish it had been a booking, because at this stage of the game, if you're new in the team and you get a booking early on, when your team look at 6s and 7s, you've got a problem right to the end of the game. But he wasn't booked. He was very, very lucky not to be.
Well, Tottenham have a real problem at the moment, and that's Ipswich Town really taking the game to the visitors, the home side here at Portman Road. And this is a chance, if the delivery is right from Calvin Phillips, to maybe take the lead inside 6 minutes. Seeing it comes from the England man, glancing header off the bar! Maybe a chance for Philogene, no cleared away. I think it was Delap with the header. It was terrific. The overhead from Philogene lands up in the lower tier of the Sir Alf Ramsey stand. This is some game of football.
What a start, brilliant start, and this is one where you want your supporters not to sit back and enjoy it. Watch the game on your toes and be as vocal as you possibly can, because Tottenham are at 6s and 7s.
There for the taking, still 0-0, 6 minutes gone. All this early performance from Tanner's lacked has been a goal. They've been close. Vicario to Danso. Hutchinson's right on him. This time he's overstepped the mark in terms of his physicality. A much needed free kick at the back for Tottenham as Liam Delap has a little moan at the referee. Great header from him from that set piece. He's convinced goal number 11 is going to come at some stage this afternoon, Liam Delap. That is a remarkable achievement for him to get to 10 Premier League goals after 25 games of the season. As the ball is on the edge of the Tottenham 6-yard box. Danso gives it to Vicario in all orange. He's taking a chance. Clark almost from Kulusevski. Greaves gives it to Kayuste. Kayuste to Hutchinson outside the area. Again, Ipswich gifted the ball. Can they make something of it? Philogene with a step over, then comes inside, fires left-footed, blocked by Udogie. Tottenham have it with Bergval. Town closing down so ferociously. There is Bentancur, who got Tottenham's goal when Ipswich beat them 2-1 at their place. Gray, a little bit of time and space. That's been a rarity for Tottenham so far in these opening 7.5 minutes. Bentancur pointing as he carries the ball forward a few yards. Now it's Danso. Albeit he's an Austrian international who spent a lot of his time in German football. Actually had spells early on in his career at MK Dons and Reading, and a loan spell at Southampton, Danso. So not completely new to the English game, but a little bit green nonetheless. Here is Bergval, one of the 3 teenagers in this Spurs side. Passes it back to another Gray. It's all inside the Tottenham half of the field at the moment. The Whites getting plenty possession of the ball, but Town keeping their positions and closing down when they can. Here is Kulusevski, one of Tottenham's better players this season. Tries a switch, great ball towards Udogie, but Palmer's quickly 16 yards off his goal line to take charge.
Yeah, Udogie is hell-bent on getting as far forward as possible. He's done it 2 occasions. He's run the ball 1-1, and on that one it's a terrific run for a big diagonal. He's a threat, but he's leaving Danso completely and utterly on his own down this left-hand side, where Philogene likes to play, where Mari Hutchinson likes to drift into, so it might not be a bonus for Tottenham.
What a touch from Delap, tries to flick it around the corner to Jack Clark. There is Kulusevski. Town have actually won the last 4 against Tottenham. The last 3 games by 2-1. It was Marcus Benton, John McGreal the last time here. Lovely footwork from Spence up towards Tell. Tell to his left. The ball's still in the middle third. It's Udogie just in front of Ange Postecoglou in his second season at Tottenham. So a couple of months ago, always wins something his second season. Well, it's not going to be either the domestic cups or the Premier League, but Tottenham are still in European competition. I think they're current favourites for the Europa League title, so I guess the former Celtic man might stay true to his word. In the 10th minute here, Town have started superbly if you're just joining us on BBC Radio Suffolk, but Tottenham at the moment having a bit of unthreatening possession. Town will be happy.
But this is what they need to do, they really do. They won't do it because it's not the Spurs way, but it is what they should do. Any team that's been under the cosh like they have should try and slow this game down.
Yeah, it's been sensible, but they've lost it. Kiyuste gives it to Leif Davis. Davis preferred to Town. Oh, Greaves has almost sold Phillips short. Tell closed him down, but Phillips got to the ball. Infield from Davis to Hutchinson. Hutchinson nudged off the ball by Son. The referee was 10 yards away and he's blown up. Gary McKenna applauds. Son, the captain of Tottenham, what a servant he's been to the club now in his 10th season from Bayer Leverkusen. More than 400 games for Spurs. Still has something to offer, albeit not quite the player he was in his heyday. Kiyuste wriggles away from a half-hearted Kulusevski challenge and is back with Greaves, the left-sided centre-half. Almost lost it to Johnson. Greaves goes back to Palmer in the end. Palmer left-footed, clouts it up into the sky. Spence with a header forward. And then it is Phillips who brings it down in front of Ipswich Town's back 4. Leif Davis, good to see him back fit and available, albeit Townsend did have a good game last week at Villa Park. He's never let Ipswich Town down, Connor Townsend. I saw Kieran McKenna praising him yesterday. Greaves gets the ball away from Kulusevski as Bentancur lifts it over the top of Delap. Spurs continuing to have the lion's share of the possession these last few minutes after that barnstorming start from Ipswich. Still 0-0 though, live on BBC Radio Suffolk Sports. Actually a fascinating little group of 3 games. This today, Manchester United away on Wednesday, and then that FA Cup tie at Nottingham Forest a week on Monday. It's Town trying to reach the quarter-finals. Kulusevski simply gives the ball to Clark. Clark turns it around the corner to Kiyuste. Phillips also in midfield, almost loses the ball to Tell. Goes back to O'Shea in the D off to our left. O'Shea, the captain, brings it out, plays it off a Tottenham player. Through far side to Ipswich again. Kieran McKenna underneath us with his blue overcoat on, applauds.
Well, we had the blistering start and most of the good stuff was from Town, and you just had to sort of believe there was going to be an early opening goal, but Tottenham have actually got themselves a lot of possession in the last 5 minutes, and for me that's the thing they should do, you know, but I'm surprised that they're trying to do it. Perhaps they've changed their mentality a little bit.
Back header on from Clark is headed down by Gray. Danso alongside him at centre-half goes back to Vicario. Delap closes down, then cuts off the route to Gray. Vicario has to go out to the left-hand side, and here is Danso once again. Danso trying to get down the line away from Hutchinson, flicks it in field. Town can't quite win it. Son goes down. Bergvall to Bentancur. Bergvall, the young Swede in his debut season, gets it forward to Son. Son on the left-hand side, trying to get away from Godfrey inside the area. Son still got it inside the Ipswich Town box. The pull back to Bergvall, tries to place it, blocked. Greaves has to get it away, nodded back into a dangerous area, away from O'Shea with a flying header. Now the referee's blown his whistle. Kind of held on to that clean sheet. It's a free kick inside their penalty area.
Well, he did well to get the ball away in the end, but at the moment the real sort of telling part of the Tottenham team has been down their left-hand side. Udogie and Son have both shown more pace than what our right-hand side are showing at the moment. We know that Dara O'Shea is very quick, but Godfrey looked to be struggling on that occasion against Son, and actually Dara O'Shea on the first one against Udogie was struggling, so we've just got to keep our eyes on this right-hand side because that's been 2 good attacks by Tottenham down there.
Godfrey shouldn't be getting done for pace against Son, really. never been a massive part of his game. Son, so many attributes, wonderful talent. Pace hasn't necessarily been one of them, but he got away from Godfrey there. The referees have brought a halt to this game once more, because Spence has taken a knock. He's down on one knee just north of the centre circle. Live on BBC Radio Suffolk Sport. We're into the 14th minute of this Premier League game. Still 0-0 between these two sides. Full match commentary from Old Trafford on Wednesday night. That's a 7:30 kick-off. Alex Matthew will be alongside me in the northwest for that. Manchester United drawing, coming back from 2-0 down to get a 2-2 draw at Goodison Park against Everton this lunchtime. And Brentford far too good for a very, very poor Leicester last night. That finished 4-0 to the Bees at the King Power Stadium. Son, lovely play back to Udogie. That was excellent down the Tottenham left. Udogie's carried it on to the edge of the town area, then just ran out of ideas. Philogene made a block and cleared his lines. Spence brings it down for Spurs to the right-hand side. Good interception from Davis as he's blatantly pulled down by Johnson. Free kick to Ipswich Town and a yellow card. The first of the afternoon's gone the way of Brennan Johnson.
Yeah, it's a stupid yellow card, but the referee's got it right. You can't manhandle an opponent like that and just throw him to the ground. It just isn't something you do. Leif Davis did very well. He intercepted the ball. He was coming up off the ground very, very quickly. He was going in pursuit of the ball and would have got there, and he would have been away down the left-hand side when he was thrown to the ground.
It's a player town left to watch, Johnson. He's on a dozen goals for the season. Of course, playing in a lot of competitions, but no mean feat. One of the players that Tottenham have reintroduced to their side. Clark, one of those that's been back in the Ipswich Town lineup this afternoon, to another one, Davis. Godfrey and Philogene, the other changes from last week. Greaves to Kayuste, nice turn from Kayuste, but then he ran into trouble. Bentancur floats it down the left. That's going to favour Greaves by a distance against Johnson. Greaves sees it out behind. Goal kick Palmer.
Yeah, nice defending. He saw the ball was going to be sort of lifted over into that space beyond him, Jacob Greaves, and he also knew that he could usher it out for a goal kick. So we've just got to sort of, Tottenham have just sort of slowly taken over the game. They've had a slightly more possession in the last 5, 6, 7 minutes. So we just got to get ourselves some possession, and we've got to get this front four going again. That's where the trouble to Tottenham was caused. It was mainly through the likes of Amari Hutchinson, Delap, Philogene, a little bit Jack Clark, but those people mainly just got to pick their game up again.
Delap with a clever back header into the path of Clark, onside, trying to get into the area. He's inside the area, but Spence just eased him off the ball, brought it away. 30 years since Tottenham last beat Ipswich Town here. Only one win in their last 7. In fact, 4 Spurs against Ipswich. Spurs have been something of a bogey team. Poor from O'Shea, almost caught out by Bergvall. Tell was on to him, but the Irishman was able to regain his composure and control of the ball. Palmer to Davis. Davis is headed down the far side, trying to get Clark away on Gray. They know each other well from their time together at Leeds. Gray goes down over the ball. That's a free kick given to the Tottenham defender.
Yeah, he did well in the end, Gray. I thought he could have easily passed back to his own goalkeeper, but he was looking for the foul all the time, and in the end he sort of he got one comfortably. But little bit of a mistake at the back by Dara O'Shea. Just got to be careful there, because they are quick, Tottenham, and they do seize on opportunities. Okay.
Son on the halfway line. Both these sides early 80s UEFA Cup winners, and these were the 2 title winners in the 1961 and then 62 seasons. Tottenham, of course, winning the double in 61. In goes Godfrey, good challenge on Udogie. Phillips up towards Delap. Delap stretches, can't get a toe on the ball. He just needed a toe-nail, really. Long ball forward by Tottenham. Son, it's got goal side, onside, inside the Ipswich Town area, off to our left-hand side. Son goes to the byline, into the middle it comes, touched in, 1-0 Tottenham. Tottenham take the lead in this Premier League game at Portman Road. 18 minutes gone. It was Son, the creator, and it seems to be Brennan Johnson who's tapped it in from a yard out, and it's Ipswich Town 0, Tottenham Hotspur 1.
Yeah, it's down the vulnerable side. We sort of saw that very early. We saw it when Town were going superbly well, but a couple of breakaways Tottenham had early in the game came down this right side of Town, and it's been Udogie who's been making terrific runs. Son has been doing great work down here, and he seized on that one. He's got 2 Town players, and he was not sort of bothered about it. and he's got the ball into the 6-yard box hard and low, and Brennan Johnson has done the correct thing. He's come off the right touchline to get involved, get himself in the 6-yard box, and he's had an easy opportunity just to put that over the goal line. So they do attack well, Tottenham. I thought we were finding some loose bits about the Tottenham team defensively, but we have to be careful because they're pretty good in attack.
Well, they've got that about them. They are a team that does blow very hot and cold. Well, they've not really been at their best so far. Philogene maybe with a chance now from the Delap head down. No, Tottenham get it away. Bentancur given away by him. Jack Clark to Hutchinson. Hutchinson to the edge of the box and Philogene with his pink boots on. What can he conjure up against Udogie? Draws in Son. Tottenham have got 9 white shirts now, all 10 behind the ball because Town have played it back to the centre circle, and O'Shea, he rolls it forward to Phillips. Phillips goes down by Bergvall, now in a triangle of Tottenham players. Phillips though does find Godfrey down the right hand side. Philogene on towards Hutchinson. Flag stays down, chance for him to cross, drills it in, header from Clark on target, but picked out of the air by Vicario centrally on his goal line.
Yeah, that's a mistake by the Tottenham player who was on the left-hand side. He thinks he can play offside when 2 players in the centre are definitely playing Town onside. You can't just step up like that. He did. The cross was a decent one. Header was a decent one in as much that it went directly towards the goal, but not enough power on it.
Son onto Udogie. Flicked in field, Phillips is on the ball, back it goes to O'Shea. Let's see how Ipswich Town react to that setback. Godfrey to Philogene, checks all around him. Infield it goes from Philogene, finds Delap, good ball. Delap 30 yards from goal, takes it on, has a hit deflected wide. Only one thing in his mind when he got the ball out from under his feet. It's a corner to Town, the first of the game.
Well, we can't criticise Liam Delap for being greedy, but he was greedy there. There was a fabulous run down the left-hand side by Leif Davis. He would have gone beyond the Tottenham defence, and I would have said that if he had played the ball to Leif Davis, Liam Delap would have had a better opportunity to score from Leif's cross than he did by doing what he did.
Corner kick to Ipswich Town in front of the Tottenham fans. It's Leif Davis to take it. It's the first of this match. Town trail 1-0. In it comes, volleyed away low by a Tottenham defender. Philogene skips away from Kulusevski, sets himself and has a go. It dipped, just not quickly enough. It with no shortage of venom, that ball.
No, it was a good strike, it really was. He had plenty of time on the ball to collect it, to just sort of shuffle the ball a little bit. He got it in onto his inside there. He still wasn't being sort of blocked, and it was a free effort at goal, really. Just a little bit too high, but it's a good game.
1-0 Tottenham lead live on BBC Radio Suffolk. Approaching the midway point of this first half. Vicario slips as he kicks the ball. Phillips knocks it forward to Kiyuste. Kiyuste couldn't quite control it as he would have wished. Now Philogene carries the ball, edge of the area, a couple of step overs. Udogie defended it well, kept his eye on the ball, not the dancing feet, then plays a 1-2 with Kulusevski. Kulusevski surely not kept that in. No, he hasn't. He's complaining, but it's the right call. Went out to play that ball.
Yeah, that was a shame that Philogene couldn't get his head up when he was in possession of the ball out here. I know it was really tight, but Jack Clark was standing in a beautiful position on the back post, completely on his own. But he couldn't get his head up. He couldn't deliver the ball to that area. So you can see things from up here that sometimes players can't see down there.
Palmer goes route 1. Delap against Gray. Delap gets the better of Gray. A little nudge in the back. Now wants to take on Dancer wide left. Delap's got no support in the middle. Can't keep the ball in play. The North Stand obviously just having a dig at James Maddison. They haven't forgotten his heritage up the A140 as he's out with the other Tottenham subs way off to our left-hand side. He was the goal scorer last week in that win over Manchester United. Tottenham trying to win 3 successive games for the first time this season. Clean sheets in both of the last 2. Here is Vicario. He missed a chunk of the season, but the Italian is back between the posts. Undoubtedly Spurs number 1. Ball up towards Tell, beaten in the air by O'Shea. Bentancur with a nod down. Bergvall beaten by Phillips. Good challenge from Phillips. Hutchinson turns into Bergvall, and then Danso trying to get away from Hutchinson. He does. Udogie, one thing in his mind when he gets the ball, that's to run with it. Plays it in field to Tell. Kulusevski's making a run in front of him. Well held up by a combination of Phillips and Greaves. Kiyuste picks up the ball. There's been some nice work from him in this game. He gives it to Clark, overlapping is Davis, who he finds. Davis to Delap, edge of the area, turns. Delap turns, shoots straight at Vicario. It's on target, but comfortable stop for the Italian.
Yeah, we've got some good play going. We're 1-0 down, but you know, we've got good spirit, and we're seeing a lot of Delap on the ball. We're getting good runs from Leif Davis. Philogene is twisting and turning. You know, we've got the right players going, you know, who can create opportunities and obviously can score from some of those opportunities. So we're not out of it by any means.
No, not at all. Lots to be happy with in terms of Town's performance so far. A number of players on song as well. Davis wins a good header. Greaves loses the ball in flight. And he's forward from his usual centre-half berth. Town get the ball back with Clark. Good to see him getting another opportunity after shining at Coventry. He was unlucky, the player that came on and then went off last week. Jack Clark needs must after the red card. Clark, wide left, outside the Tottenham penalty area. Former Tottenham player, of course, went there from Leeds before joining Sunderland and resurrecting his career. Clark, very young and didn't work out for him in North London. Here is the goal scorer Johnson, his 13th of the season. Town behind. Gray for Tottenham inside their penalty box, out towards Danso. So Leicester lost last night, and Southampton at home to Brighton this weekend. Wolves away to Bournemouth. Hopefully that game's every bit as hard as you would expect for Wolves at the Vitality Stadium. Danso bringing the ball away from the back. Only gets so far. That was only 3 or 4 yards really. Gray along the grass to the far side, and Kulusevski back to Gray. Now it's with Danso. Plenty possession for Spurs. Now they go forward. Udogie to Bentancur, around the back of Godfrey. Son inside the area. Again down this Tottenham left-hand side. Son comes in field. He might fancy a go. No, plays it to Johnson. 2-0. Again, Town being undone down their right-hand side. Tottenham's major threat is down the left. Once more, Son had a major hand in it, and once more it's Brennan Johnson who finds the back of the net. 26 minutes gone, and it's already Ipswich Town 0, Tottenham Hotspur 2.
Yeah, same two players creating and scoring, so that is a problem. But certainly down our right-hand side, Ben Godfrey, who this is his second position. He's definitely more of a centre-back. You know, I really don't always like players when they have to play in this second position just to get a game, you know, and these, for me already, I'm thinking he's not a fullback. You don't see him far enough up the pitch for an actual fullback in attack. He's not doing his job defensively as a fullback, so very vulnerable. And this down the Tottenham are good down this side. Son is having a game that you tended to think, you know, was his type of game 2 or 3 years ago, but not so much now. He's having a wonderful match. He's being backed up by Udogie brilliantly well. So they've got two down this side and we're struggling.
Here is O'Shea at the back. So would you question the decision to loan Harry Clark out? Is that something that might come up post-match? I don't know. Anyway, here is Kiyusta going back to Greaves. Town obviously missing Axel Tuanzebe this afternoon. That controversial red card last week. Looking even worse for Ipswich Town. Here come Tottenham. They could really hurt Ipswich. Son inside the Ipswich area. He might fancy a goal himself. Saved by Palmer on his near post. This is not comfortable viewing at all. This was not on the script either, although we did warn that Tottenham are a team that can beat the very best. I mean, they walloped Man City earlier on this season, and that was only the Carabao Cup semi-final, but they did beat Liverpool in the first leg of that tie. They've kind of got it in them, and at the moment they're enjoying themselves in this game. This 2-goal cushion with 18 minutes of the first half still to go.
This is a really difficult. We'll have to wait for the corner to be taken.
I always feared this game out of the two more than United on Wednesday. Anyway, you write off Ipswich Town at your peril, but at the moment, Tottenham on top. Son with this corner kick for Spurs towards the far post, punched away not very far by Palmer. Danso wins it in the box. Up goes Bentancur, a little nod down. Greaves gets it away. Kulusevski plays it off the referee, which means there'll be a restart. Thankfully the referee was in the way, because I think Kulusevski was about to find Dagerman Son, who's causing Godfrey all sorts of nightmares.
Yeah, and he doesn't get any sort of natural protection from Philogene. Philogene's not that type of player. You know, if it was Wes Burns down this side, he would be sort of doing something to help the guy out. But Philogene is not that type of player.
Of course, Town have got Ben Johnson on the bench, lest we forget. He's maybe more natural in that position. Still can remember him having a decent game at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in November. But anyway, Tottenham and White leading 2-0 on BBC Radio Suffolk. Back the ball goes to Gray, pretty much on the centre spot. Danso swipes it onto his left, and Udogie. Here is Son down this touchline. Philogene certainly has to get back and help out Godfrey. Son tormenting and giving it back to Bergvall. A strong looking boy in midfield. Bergvall, only 19. Full Swedish international. We were talking off air before this game. Sweden have got some players nowadays. I mean, that front line of Isak and Gyökeres, and there's other players around the Premier League represent Sweden. Here goes Son, in goes Phillips. That's what's required. He's come across to help out. Phillips gets the ball up to Hutchinson. Hutchinson turns away from Udogie, skips infield to beat Kulusevski, and then gives it to Davis. Town is still in their defensive third. Kayuste back to Palmer. O'Shea to Phillips. Phillips tripped by Kulusevski. Easy decision for Mr. Robinson. There's Ange Postecoglou shows a little bit of frustration.
Yeah, that's fair enough. But just really looking at Ben Godfrey's position, I think that if I was Kieran and he's down this side, I would be telling Philogene to just hold fire a little bit, just play a little bit closer to Ben Godfrey.
Good play from Kayuste in midfield, skipping between the lines. The ball behind Davis was a poor one, and it's gone straight out of play for a Tottenham throw underneath their rather joyous supporters, enjoying their trip up the A12 so far. Exactly an hour of this game to go. It's 2-0 to Tottenham as Ben Johnson goes out for a jog down this near side. Through which Spence has been taken. It's a very good season. For a fair while it looked like the former Middlesbrough and Forest man wasn't really going to take off at Tottenham. He's had an opportunity and made the most of it. Hutchinson to Phillips on halfway. O'Shea quickly sorts out his feet. And he's a little off balance. Greaves gives it and gets it back from Kayuste. Greaves back to O'Shea, and then all the way back to Palmer. Tottenham were pressing Ipswich Town. Palmer, little he could do about either goal, launches the ball downfield. Danso with a header that crosses the halfway line. Bergvall gets the better of Phillips. Kulusevski tries to carry on, but his fellow countryman Kayuste wins it. Now Hutchinson, Davis is on his bike in space. He's got the ball wide left outside the Tottenham area. First time ball in, wasn't a good one. Headed away only partially by Bentancur. Philogene gets on it for Ipswich Town, tries to get away from Bergvall. Spurs had too many players back. Had about 4 of them in the D alone. Cleared not very far by Danso. Greaves shields it from Tell and lays it off to Davis far side. Davis in field to Clark. Clark wants to spin away from a couple of players. He's carried it on well, but in steps Spence. Caught late by Clark. Spence has gone down, slapping the ground in pain. Referee is giving Jack Clark a yellow card for that challenge as well.
Yeah, they're a bright team, Tottenham, in sort of midfield and forward areas, and the fullbacks are not bad. I think their vulnerable area, and we really must try and concentrate on it, is through the middle of their defensive areas. I think they're vulnerable through there. You know, we're vulnerable down our right-hand side defensively. Tottenham vulnerable through the middle, but so we've got to try and utilise that pair of players that we've got in there, in that area. That's Delap and it's Amari Hutchinson. You've got to try and search for them. You know, you can do that in games. You know, instead of going wide, search the central ball all the time, you know, because that's the vulnerability of Tottenham.
Free kick for Spurs, leading 2-0 on the edge of their area. Gray plays it along the edge of the 18-yard line, then gets it back from Danso. Gray along the floor to the goal scorer Johnson, now on a hat-trick. Balls off of Davis out far side. Mixed emotions for his dad, David Johnson, this afternoon watching this. Proud of his son as ever, quite rightly so. He's having a good career, Brennan Johnson, but of course loves Ipswich Town, David. 33 gone. There is Gray again, giving it to Danso. Town had that terrific start. And then Delap with a header just off the back of it, really hitting the post. Since then, Tottenham have come into it a lot more and taken their goals well. Both created down their left-hand side underneath us in this first half. Danso gives the ball back to Gray. I've seen a lot of it, and mounting up their passes without getting anywhere. Still those two keeping a hold of the ball. There is Gray once more along the floor to Johnson. Johnson with a flick on Kulusevski, won't get there. Greaves can use his body, and he's pulled down by Kulusevski. Free kick.
Yeah, good play by Jacob Greaves. Not easy when that ball slid there. You can't afford to make a mistake. He's going to be turning on the ball to bring it out. You've got to get the timing absolutely perfect, otherwise the ball could be nicked off you, and then that's a one-to-one with the goalkeeper. But he's got it absolutely perfect, and that's how our defenders have got to play. They've got to be absolutely sure-footed.
Well, it's going to have to take some turnaround for Ipswich Town to get their first double of the season, as Delap heads the ball down to to Clark. In steps Kulusevski. A little drag back gets away from him. Infield from Kulusevski, but straight to O'Shea rather than the intended target, Tell. Philogene looking for Hutchinson. Bergvall read that situation well. Off goes Bergvall down the left-hand side. Good strong running from him. Pokes it forward through Doggy. In goes O'Shea. Doesn't take any prisoners. Out of play it goes as Postecoglou correctly applauds Bergvall. That was good midfield play from him. Here he is once again, Bergvall. I like the look of him. Danso to Bentancur. Now Spence digs it forward for Johnson. Johnson flagged offside.
Yeah, I think that they have got some players that they can manipulate the ball well, but they can also, when in midfield like Bergvall did on that occasion, they can, if they get a little bit of daylight in front of them, they can surge and they can use up that little bit of space by running the ball. They're not just pure passers of the ball. They can dribble, they can pass. Whatever's the right thing at the right time, they can do.
Only one other goal in the Premier League so far in the 3 o'clock kickoffs. Brighton leading 1-0 at Southampton. João Pedro with another goal for the Seagulls. I think they're on a good little run at the moment. Delap with a header infield looking for Hutchinson. Danso knocked off the ball. Phillips into the area. Pull back from Clark. Hutchinson! What a finish from Amari Hutchinson! Into the corner of Vicario's net, and that's a much-needed lifeline before half-time, and Ipswich Town on the balance of play, particularly given the way they started this game, deserved that. Amari Hutchinson with a left-footed finish, his third of the season. It's now Town 1, Tottenham 2.
Well, we cashed in nicely there. Mistake by Tottenham. They're not definite enough about what they're doing. We seize on the opportunity. Great ball to Jack Clark. Terrific pull back to Amari Hutchinson, and his finish is perfect. A good goal, good finish. That's what we needed. We needed desperately to get at least one back. I'm now thinking 2 before half-time, but I looked at the scoreline just 30 seconds before we scored and thought if we can get one back, that would be good.
Little check for VAR. That's why we're just waiting. Tottenham got the ball in the centre spot. I'd be surprised if it's ruled out. Mr. Robinson just waiting there. So the former Chelsea and Arsenal man has just scored against Tottenham. Town back in this game. As the ball goes back from Gray towards Vicario. Vicario out to Danso near side. Wiggles himself away from Hutchinson. And his third goal in 24 league games, that for Amari Hutchinson.
Yeah, it's a good goal as well. Good goal. That will give us a lift. We were beginning to disbelieve in the whole thing. We'd gone 2-0 down. We obviously didn't deserve probably to be 2 down, but we were. There was just a little bit of disillusionment creeping into the team, and that goal will do us a world of good.
Let's go back to Graham with goal news.
It's bad news from Bournemouth. Wolves ahead 1-0. Bournemouth down to 10 men.
Wow, that's not good news for Ipswich Town, that goal. Vicario looked shaky trying to play it up from back. A lot of that is credit Ipswich Town for their press. Danso down the line. Son in field. O'Shea up towards the chest of Delap. Cayuste plays it out to the left-hand side. There were always going to be goals in this game for me. I didn't want to tempt fate by making too much of a song and dance about that ahead of kick-off and fearing a 0-0, but really that was a very slim likelihood that would happen, and we've had 3 inside the first half, which still has another 7 minutes to go. Don't rule out more before the break. Gray goes back to Vicario. Vicario clears to halfway. Davis gets on that ball, knocks it forward left-footed. Jack Clark, who got the assist for the first goal for Ipswich Town, trying to get away from a combination of Spence and Gray. Gray, good play, clever, finds Spence, the little flick up towards Tell. Tell beaten by Greaves. The referee says play on. Ipswich Town have their tails up. Clark inside the Tottenham area gives it to Hutchinson. A chance for his second goal. Oh, he slipped at a crucial moment. Totally lost his footing, and the effort was really meek towards the keeper. Son caught by Godfrey. Flag goes up. That decision made by the assistant rather than the referee. The referee wants a little word with Ben Godfrey. That was a chance for Hutchinson if he hadn't slipped at the crucial moment.
If he goes in the book, that'll be a substitution at half-time without question.
Yeah, I was thinking along similar lines as well. Son stayed down. Mr. Robinson wants an extended chat with Godfrey. And I wonder if we might see Ben Johnson at half-time. That's a yellow card for Ben Godfrey. He's had a very difficult first half. A player who probably came here expecting more Premier League minutes than he's already had.
To be perfectly honest, that is a good thing for Kieran McKenna, because he's got every reason now to take him off, and it's not one that you do and there has to be an explanation because of your decision.
Kieran has actually just spoken to Luke Wolfen and has sent him down the tunnel, which I think is probably to pass a message to Ben Johnson to kind of get yourself ready for the start of the second half, because Johnson was down the tunnel a little while ago, so I think Wolfen's been sent to say, come the start of the second half, you are required. There is Johnson back towards Gray. Tottenham now lead 2-1. Here is Udogie on this near side. Son booed by a tiny handful of Ipswich Town fans. He was caught. Now it's with the blonde-haired Bergvall through the lines to Bentancur, but then he floats it back up to Danso. We'll test this of Tottenham's character as much as anything. Until recently, that we're used to winning games. Now that what they thought was going to be a half-time lead has been halved. That'll do Amari Hutchinson the world of good as well. Good for him to get that assist last week at Villa Park, but his first league goal for a little while this afternoon. Out far side for a throw, which Davis is going to take for Ipswich. There's sunshine on the cobbled stand opposite. Lovely afternoon actually for football, as mild as it's been for some time watching Ipswich Town. A few degrees below this Old Trafford on Wednesday night, I'm sure. Again, I'm looking forward to. West Ham Town have been there in the league for a while. Hutchinson robbed by Bentancur, trying to re-establish Tottenham's 2-goal lead. Saved by Palmer. Uruguayan took it on himself, then headed out behind by Greaves for a second Tottenham corner.
Murray, big mistake by him, and they've seized upon it again. Tottenham, they are quick at seizing on sort of little mistakes, and Murray just trying to let that ball come to him rather than going to meet it. Dispossessed, and that was a good run into the box by the Tottenham boy.
Tottenham, who led 2-0, trying to lead 3-1. 2-1 they lead at the moment. Corner kick Tottenham. It's going to be taken by Son, the captain, over in the far left corner of Portman Road. In it comes, headed away by Phillips, only as far as the number 11 Tell. Tell knocks it in, looking for a colleague, headed away by Delap on defensive duties. A few players watching the ball bounce. Touched on by Delap to Clark, just short of the halfway line, held up by Johnson. Greaves square across the edge of his area. Town fans rightly believing they can still get something from this game. Why not? Here is Godfrey, possibly playing his last few minutes of this match. Phillips overruns the ball, then he goes in strongly on Udogie. The ball squirts high in the air. Godfrey battling for it. Philogene too, but it's Bergvall. Tottenham lose it. Hutchinson then does likewise for Ipswich Town. Tell is down on the deck for Spurs. They're a man light. Udogie pokes it out so his mate can get some treatment.
Yeah, that was a collision course coming up there. That was a perfect 50-50 sort of emerged. Neither player sort of come away from it, and in the end, it's the one that wasn't involved got injured. But it was a meaty challenge, the initial one.
Yeah, break and play, because Tell is being tended to. Tottenham been in the top flight since 1978. Had one rare season a level below. They're only one actually since 1950. That's 77-78 season that they haven't been in the top flight. So regular opponents when Ipswich Town, whenever they've been at this level. In fact, it was former Ipswich manager John Duncan who was their top goal scorer that season. They did get promoted when Town, of course, were winning the FA Cup. As the referee sees Tell go off, but he's going to be all right to come back on. Kieran McKenna just arms folded as Philogene gets ready to sportingly throw the ball back in the direction of Danso after Tottenham put it out for some treatment. Thought the fourth officials board was about to go up. I was thinking it's a little bit previous. Still got a minute.
This is supposed to be. I don't know what this decision is here.
Godfrey throws it to Phillips, who'll give it back to Tottenham, and he does.
What a waste of time.
Yeah, Vicario keeps the ball in, preventing it.
Kieran was. They had the advantage and were supposed to do so. You know, we were supposed to do something negative, and Kieran was trying to set us up to steal the ball.
Forward from Gray. Spence just short of the halfway line into Bentancur, loose from him, very poor ball. Philogene though almost robbed by Udogie, gets it back to Phillips, the goal scorer Hutchinson. Now it's with Kulusevski, both sides giving the ball away in quick succession. Tell sprints back on the field for Tottenham. Spence with a crossfield diagonal trying to get Son in behind Godfrey. Son might get on this ball. No, Godfrey sees it out behind for a goal kick to Alex Palmer.
Yeah, it was a bit naughty of the referee. He allowed the centre forward for Tottenham to come on, and just by Tell to come on, and just by him coming on, the 2v1 crossfield ball was created, and that wasn't really very fair.
As there's going to be a goal kick for Palmer. 3 minutes of added on time to be played at the end of this first half, live on BBC Radio Suffolk. O'Shea with a flick on header. Tottenham get it back on the halfway line. Kulusevski to Son. Here we go again. Son, edge of the area, tries to pick his spot, blocked off by Godfrey. Get concerned every time Son has the ball down that left-hand side. Here is Kulusevski, held up by Hutchinson, who made it 2-1. No further goals since then. Son to the halfway line, round the corner to Bentancur. Udogie is in a very attacking position, almost playing as a striker there in open play. The left back, who does love to get forward. Bentancur up to Kulusevski, tries the flick on. O'Shea read it, but then not a good ball from O'Shea. Tell inside the area, taking on Greaves, goes wide right, can't shoot now. Now outside the box, down the right-hand side for Tottenham. Gives it back to Johnson. Infield, it goes to Spence. Town have got numerous blue shirts off to our left behind the ball. Now over on the far side, Tell seems to be all right after that knock. Gray in the centre circle into the second minute of the added on 3 at the end of this first half. There is Danso once more up through the halfway line in the centre circle to Bentancur. So how ambitious Tottenham are going to be to get another goal before half-time. Happy to hold on to the ball at the moment by the looks of things. 90 seconds into the added on 3 minutes. Danso holds on to it and again rolls it up the halfway line to Bentancur. Down the far side of Tottenham right now, Kulusevski. Maybe one final hurrah at the end of this first half for Tottenham. Nice 1-2 played with Johnson. Kulusevski got it by the corner flag, way off to our left-hand side. Clark helps out Davis. The ball goes out of play for a Tottenham throw.
Yeah, playing with a little bit of confidence, although they've had their sort of 2-goal lead pegged back slightly, 2-2-1. Tottenham still show a little bit of arrogance about their game. You know, they've got a confidence about them, certainly when they've got the ball in the opposition half.
There could be more goals in this game. Final minute of the added on 3. Tottenham take a long time over this throw. That's why a few Ipswich fans getting a little bit hot under the collar. Bentancur on the right gives it back towards Gray in midfield for the moment. Gray almost saw Danso a bit short. Hutchinson was onto it but didn't get it. Udogie along the floor to Son. Son, well done Philogene. Philogene might nick in there, nick the ball, he does very well, but it goes away from Bergvall in the direction of Danso rather than the Town play. Gray takes a chance against Delap, brought down by Delap. Free kick to Tottenham.
He's lucky. He's lucky. He dwelt on the ball. He tried to be clever and in the wrong area, and I don't think that was a foul. I think he's just gone to ground, and I hate seeing defenders sort of throw themselves on the ground. That's not what you do.
It's very risky. That's it. Half-time whistle from Mr. Robinson. Fascinating game, an entertaining game with 3 goals so far. I think there might be more to come in the second half. It's Tottenham, sadly, who've scored 2 of them. They led 2-0, but Amari Hutchinson got one back for Ipswich Town and has given them an opportunity to get something from this game. It's 2-1 to Tottenham at the break, McMills.
Yeah, it's going to be 2 very interesting dressing rooms without question. I don't think that the Tottenham manager would believe after, say, 10 minutes of this game that he would be going in his dressing room in charge of the team that's leading in the game 2-1, because that first 10 minutes, we absolutely battered Tottenham, and how we didn't score in that spell, I don't know, but we didn't score. Tottenham slowly but surely showed a bit more professionalism than what they're given credit for. They slowed the game down, and there were a couple of sort of breakaways they had down our right hand side that you had to say, hello, you know, there's a vulnerability about us, there's a domination about them in a certain area of the pitch, and that was down that left hand side. And then they sort of, you know, got themselves going. They got themselves a couple of chances. Son has created 2 for Johnson to score, and then they looked to be in charge of the game. We hadn't lost everything. We just looked a little bit disillusioned about the fact that we had played okay and we're gone 2-0 down, and then we seized upon a little mistake in the Tottenham midfield in their own half, and we really sort of did well on that occasion. It was a quick ball in, out to Jack Clark. That ball was turned back to Amari Hutchinson, who had entered the box and scored comfortably, and then there was a good game on, you know. But even though I think we've sort of just about shaded the last bit of the game, you know, the first half, they still showed that down our right hand side they could take us very much to the cleaners. We're going to make a change down there's no question about it. I actually looked at the clock. It was about 27 minutes, and I was wondering whether Kieran would have the nerve to actually make a substitution at that particular time, you know, purely and simply because a player was struggling to handle another player, no other reason. And sometimes it's difficult because that really knocks that player you're going to take off for 6, and he didn't do it. But then all of a sudden Ben Godfrey gets the yellow card, and I think that has definitely made the manager's mind up. He can now take Ben Godfrey off and put on possibly Ben Johnson, who's a natural right back. He could take another little gamble on Luke Wolfenden coming over, who's got great pace, but I think he'll play safe here, play Ben Johnson in that position. But this has been a good game. I mean, if there's any neutrals in the stadium, which there won't be too many, they will have enjoyed this game immensely. And you know, it's the game is this is going towards where both teams could quite easily get 3 goals apiece today, you know. So it'll be a high-scoring game without question, because they're vulnerable through the middle. They were just lucky in the last few seconds of that half when Gray was just being too arrogant, thinking he could twist away from Liam Delap, and he didn't really manage to do it. And I don't think Liam Delap fouled him, so he threw himself to the ground, and the referee kindly gave him a free kick. So we've got to press that central part of the Tottenham defence, and we've got to tighten the right side of our defence up.
Absolutely, there's more goals in this game, and don't rule out Ipswich Town potentially getting their 4th victory of the season, their 2nd one at home, and doubling Tottenham. Lots more to come live on BBC Radio Suffolk Sport. But sadly, at the halfway stage, Tottenham lead this game by 2 goals to 1.
Elsewhere in the Premier League today, Everton 2, Manchester United 2, a full-time score from the lunchtime kick-off. We'll hear from both managers, David Moyes and Ruben Amorim, during our half-time break. In the 3 o'clock kick-offs, Arsenal trailing 1-0 at home to West Ham. Jarrod Bowen with the goal on the stroke of half-time. I mentioned earlier, Bournemouth 0, Wolves 1. Not a good scoreline for Ipswich Town. Cunha, who else for Wolves? A few minutes after Zabani was sent off for the home side. So Wolves ahead and Bournemouth playing with just 10 men. Fulham 0, Crystal Palace 1 at half-time, and bottom of the table Southampton trailing 1-0 at home to Brighton. In the Championship, Norwich 1, Stoke 1 at half-time. Cambridge United 2 up at home to Stockport County in League 1, and Colchester trailing 1-0 at home to AFC Wimbledon in League 2. In the National League North, Needham Market 1-0 down away at South Shields. Leiston trailing 2-1 at Telford in the Southern Premier League Central Division. But AFC Sudbury are a goal to the good. We'll hear from Nick Garnham at the Mel Group Stadium next.
Wayne Babin at breakfast.
Have you guys ever heard anything really negative from the sideline when you've been playing?
Some parents decide to give the referees some grief, which just doesn't make it a healthy environment.
It is love your pet date.
So my brother Dean and his girlfriend Kat have got a staffy called Gus. There's a little doorbell. He goes up, he taps it with his nose, and that's how he knows to go out for a wee and do his business.
The band from Framlingham, who could be representing Germany in the Eurovision Song Contest.
You're going on live TV in front of millions of people, but it was incredible.
Wayne Babin at breakfast.
Weekdays from 6.
BBC Radio Suffolk.
Ipswich Town 1, Tottenham Hotspur 2, half-time in our main feature from Portman Road. Mentioned Needham Market trailing at South Shields, Leiston behind at Telford United, Sudbury ahead at home to Barwell, Nick Garnham on the way. In the Isthmian North Division this afternoon, top of the table Felixstowe, Walton United, a 1-1 away at Walthamstow, Bury Town 1-0 up at home to Heybridge Swifts, Newmarket Town and Whittam. No news of any goals in that one as of yet. Let's hear from Nick Garnham then, watching AFC Sudbury at home to Barwell. The home side ahead, Nick.
Yes, it's AFC Sudbury 1, Barwell 0. And it's the home team who lead through an Ollie Peters penalty after 32 minutes in this bottom of the table clash. The spot kick was awarded after Liam Pearce was upended in the area as he tried to work an opening following Joe Neal's pass, and Peters sent the keeper Will Hyland the wrong way from the spot kick. It's been a fairly tight game so far, and the only chance in the opening quarter and a half fell to the visitors when AFC Sudbury keeper James Bradbrook had to get low down to his left to turn away a deflected shot from Ash Chambers. Matthew Miles and Peters then set up Pearce, whose shot was blocked at the end of a good Sudbury move. The lively Marcel Lewis then sent in a curling effort with his right foot, but it was comfortably saved by keeper Hyland after 27 minutes. 5 minutes after taking the lead, the home team nearly added a second when Lewis cut in from the left and curled his effort just over the crossbar before Pearce created space in the box, but Hyland beat his effort away. AFC Sudbury had a penalty appeals waved away in time added on when Peters appeared to be impeded in the area. So half-time at the Mel Group Stadium, it's AFC Sudbury 1, Barwell 0.
Thank you, Nick. Back to the Premier League. Everton 2, Manchester United 2 then from the lunchtime kickoff. Everton 2-0 up in that one. Doucouré had a chance to make it 3-0. United hit back in the second half. Everton controversially had a penalty ruled out late on. Let's hear from both managers. United's Ruben Amorim in a moment. First, the Everton boss, David Moyes. Their unbeaten run goes on.
David, I'll be honest, 15-20 minutes into the second half, I couldn't see anything other than an Everton win.
Yeah. Well, I think that we should have probably got 3-0 up at that time, which would have obviously made it much harder for them to come back. But a bit of momentum changed. They got the free kick, which I thought wasn't harsh, the decision on the free kick, but it was harsh because we'd won in the same situation in the first half and the referee played on. So he gave them the free kick, and obviously what happened from it, and we should have done better in it, we're well aware of that. But the momentum went in Manchester United's favour at that time, and they probably needed to chase it, and they did do. But I still thought in the end, we made another chance. Beto got a great chance with a header, and obviously then with a penalty kick situation right at the end.
Got to try and pick the bones out of that. I mean, either way, either manager could feel a bit hard done by, because probably Ashley Young's exaggerated the shirt pull, but there is a shirt pull.
There's definitely a shirt pull, and I was a bit surprised that the referee was asked to go to VAR. I thought they were trying to sort of make the referee's decisions what they felt. Yeah. The referee was on there, he made that call, but then went away and changed it. Now, if it was absolutely clear and obvious, maybe. Some people might say it is, because that's what VAR's there for. But obviously, from our point of view, it went against us. But look, I'd have liked us to get it, because it would have given us a chance of getting 3 points. I'm really pleased with the players. Getting a point today is not a bad result for us. It's just a bad result when you're winning 2-0.
I didn't change anything at half-time. I said that no matter what the result, we are going to do what we work on during the week. So we did it, but with more quality in the simple things like controlling the ball, passing the ball with more calm, with more energy, and that can change everything. So I think that was what happened. I think we didn't exist in the first half. We know that this team is really good on second balls, and we suffered 2 goals like second balls and fighting for the ball. So we were soft during the first half, but we managed to recover.
Great quality from Bruno's set pieces, of course. It's a great free kick that gets you back in the game, and then it's another set piece that gets you the equaliser. Super finish too by Ugarte.
Yes, set pieces are really important, especially in this competition, so we need to improve in all areas, and sometimes we struggle to score goals and even to create situations. We have to use the set pieces to score.
And I'm going to ask you, of course, about the penalty decision at the end, what your thoughts were.
I think what I saw was a little bit soft touch. So it's a crucial decision that can change a game. I think was clear for the referee to overturn the decision.
It's Ruben Amorim and David Moyes speaking after Everton 2, Manchester United 2 in the Premier League's lunchtime kick-off today. Full second half commentary on the way from Portman Road. Ipswich Town are still in this.
Good play from Philogene, finding Kayuste. Lovely touch forward from the Swede. Then he gives it to Delap. Delap might have a chance. Delap in on goal. Inside the area. Liam Delap. Saved by Vicaria. Philogene. Surely that's gone over the line. Surely Town have scored. What's the referee going to say here? He's checked his watch and it didn't cross the line. The flag is up near side, but what an explosive start that was from Ipswich. That was brilliant football, worthy of a goal, but sadly it's not arrived. Quick throw in taken by Town. Here is Delap, who could have some joy against this Tottenham backline. Delap inside the area. Liam Delap with a chance. He's prodded it wide, but already the former Manchester City player causing all sorts of problems at the back for Tottenham. This is a chance, if the delivery is right from Calvin Phillips, to maybe take the lead inside 6 minutes. Seeing that comes from the England man, glancing header off the bar. Maybe a chance for Philogene, no cleared away. I think it was Delap with the header. It was terrific. The overhead from Philogene lands up in the lower tier of the Sir Alf Ramsey stand. This is some game of football. Long ball forward by Tottenham. Son, it's got goal side, onside, inside the Ipswich Town area. Off to our left-hand side. Son goes to the byline. Into the middle it comes, touched in, 1-0 Tottenham. Tottenham take the lead in this Premier League game at Portman Road. 18 minutes gone. It was Son, the creator, and it seems to be Brennan Johnson who's tapped it in from a yard out, and it's Ipswich Town 0, Tottenham Hotspur 1. Good doggy to Bentancur, around the back of Godfrey. Son inside the area, again down this Tottenham left-hand side. Son comes in field, he might fancy a go. No, plays it to Johnson. 2-0. Again, Town being undone down their right-hand side. Tottenham's major threat is down the left. Once more, Son had a major hand in it, and once more it's Brennan Johnson who finds the back of the net. 26 minutes gone, and it's already Ipswich Town 0, Tottenham Hotspur 2. Delap with a header in field looking for Hutchinson. Ganso knocked off the ball. Phillips into the area. Pull back from Clark. Hutchinson! What a finish from Amari Hutchinson! Into the corner of Vicario's net, and that's a much-needed lifeline before half-time, and Ipswich Town on the balance of play, particularly given the way they started this game, deserve that. Amari Hutchinson with a left-footed finish, his third of the season. It's now Town 1, Tottenham 2.
On BBC iPlayer.
I'm looking for a Bezos rather than a bozo.
Lord Sugar is back in the boardroom.
This remains one of the toughest processes around.
Didn't sell anything, did you?
Technically, no.
The Apprentice.
You're fired.
Watch on BBC iPlayer.
Third round of fixtures in this year's Rugby Six Nations underway. Ireland ahead against Wales, 24 points to 18. They lead the Calcutta Cup at Twickenham. England v Scotland from 4:45. Cricket-wise, Australia chasing 352 to beat England in the Champions Trophy. They're 242 for 4 into the 37th over. Second half is underway at the Emirates. Arsenal trailing West Ham 1-0. It's Fulham 0, Crystal Palace 1, Southampton 0, Brighton 1. Sadly, the away side also on top in Bournemouth. Wolves ahead in that one, and Bournemouth down to 10 men. In our main feature, Ipswich Town 1, Tottenham Hotspur 2. Let's join Mick Mills and Brenna Woolley ahead of the second half.
Luke Wolfenden's just been getting big hugs from Wes Burns, Connor Chaplin, Axel Tuanzebe, all not involved this afternoon for a variety of reasons, because he is the half-time change. Off goes Godfrey, no surprise at all, and rather than an orthodox right back in Ben Johnson, it's Luke Wolfenden who's first cab off the rank. So Town have got Palmer in yellow off to our right, then a back four of Wolfenden, O'Shea, Greaves and Davis, then you've got Phillips and Kiyuste, Philogene, Hutchinson and Clark who's on a yellow. Hutchinson incidentally got Town's goal, and Liam Delap up top. On the bench, Murrich, Morsey, Taylor, Johnson, Townsend, Smodix, Hurst and Broadhead. Vicario is in all orange as Tottenham, rather unorthodox, have gone into a pre-second half huddle. He's their goalkeeper. Back for Spence, Gray, Danso, Udogi. In midfield, Bergvall, Bentancur, Kulusevski. Johnson, part of their front three, has got a couple of goals alongside Tell and Son. Son heavily involved in terms of creating those two. On the bench, Kinski, Porro, Region, Basuma, Sarr, Madison, Moore, Audebert and Scarlett. The second half underway. Town in blue shirts, white shorts, blue socks. Up against Tottenham in their traditional white shirts, white socks, and in between the navy blue shorts. Bergvall gets the ball back to Gray. In turn, Vicario in front of the North Stand in all orange. Out to his left-hand side, his fellow countryman Udogi. Udogi plays a 1-2 with Son. Udogi goes down under a challenge from the skipper O'Shea, who hands the ball to Mr. Robinson. Udogi stayed down, just pulled up his socks, wasting a few seconds before this Tottenham free kick.
That's interesting that he's put Dara O'Shea at right full-back and Luke Wolfenden in the centre, so he does like Dara O'Shea, and I think he's quite capable of playing in there. He's certainly got the pace for it, and he's a good marker.
I do wonder how he sees Ben Johnson in the grand scheme of things. There is Son underneath the Tottenham fans. He's been delighting them for numerous years now, and he's delighted them this afternoon. Now the second half, we've got a good view of him playing underneath from far side. Phillips trying to push his way through the midfield with the ball, runs into traffic. Tottenham get it back to Danso. To be honest, the way that Tottenham are, even if this game had been 2-0 to Spurs, I'd have still fancied Ipswich Town to get something from this. So the fact that it's 2-1 gives me a little bit more confidence. But in saying that, Tottenham are capable of going on and getting another couple of goals themselves. It's going to be a really interesting watch to see how the next 43.5 minutes develop here on BBC Radio Suffolk. Town back in action on Wednesday, away to Manchester United. Alex Matthew alongside me for that one, as he will be at the City Ground a week on Monday. Town trying to reach the quarter-finals of the FA Cup at Nottingham Forest. Son on the left for Tottenham, gives it short to Bergvall. He opens up his right boot and turns the ball back to Udogi. Now Danso, the left-sided of the two centre-halves, to Gray. Gray rolls the ball to Johnson, of course, on a hat-trick. Davis goes after him. Johnson gives the ball back to Gray. And now Danso. Town yet to really get their foot on the ball so far in this second half. Just chasing shadows at the moment with 2 minutes gone. Afterwards, of course, you'll say, we'd love to hear it. You can call 0800 141 2121. Text 81333, start those messages SFK. Or WhatsApp 08000 321 333, start those with SFK. You might as well have the email address to get in touch with me ahead of Monday night's Blue Hour on BBC Radio Suffolk, because Tottenham just continue to play possession ball inside their half. The email, Brenner, BRENNER, at bbc.co.uk. Look forward to chatting with you between 6 and 7 on Monday. There is Bergvall. It's a good 90 seconds since Ipswich Town laid a boot on the ball. Gray to this near side, and Spence up against Clark, goes back to Gray. Tottenham had 2/3 of the ball in the first half. It's 67% possession for them. Town in the first half had 12 shots, 5 of them on target. one that hit the target was a very, very good one. The one that went into the back of the net, should I say, was a very good one from Hutchinson. Bentancur back to Danso. Went out into the 3rd minute without touching the ball. Udogie to Son. Udogie's not going to get on that. Far too much weight on that pass from Son. And finally, the Town player will kick the ball. It'll be Alex Palmer.
Yeah, I was just watching Udogie again, whilst that play was taking place, and he's made about 2 or 3 runs. He's a little bit like Leif Davis in as much that he's very, very forward-thinking, makes lots of runs. The difference between them is Leif Davis's runs are always down the touchline. Udogie makes his runs into a much more sort of central area, a more area off the touchline. He's sometimes sort of 20 yards off the touchlines where he's making the run too. So both attacking fullbacks, but both very different.
Town, the only Premier League side yet to win this calendar year. It's currently 6 without a victory for Ipswich Town. If the scoreline stays the same, it will be a 7th defeat in 8 here. At the moment, a little break and play. Town have a man down on this near side, which looks to be Jens Kajuste. Leif Davis just checking he's not too badly injured, which he doesn't seem to be, just holding his left ankle. The Swede, a little break and play allows Jed Spence and Brennan Johnson to come near side. None of the Town players overly bothered about taking on refreshments. I guess we are just, 4.5 minutes into this second half. Kajuste's up and okay. Just having a passing word with his fellow Swede, Dejan Kulusevski. The ball back, deposited by the referee at the feet of Vicario. There's a good goalkeeper, the Italian. Played every minute of the Premier League last season. 6 Save of the Month nominations in that period. Kajuste's gone down again. That might be it for his afternoon. It's not looking good. Town playing with 10 men. Kajuste out of action. Morsey's going to come on, one would imagine. Here is Kulusevski, wide right, overlapping inside the Ipswich area. The pullback doesn't reach Johnson. Davis eventually slices it away terribly off his weaker right foot, gets no distance. It's gone square. Philogene tries to play it off Danso. The ball's out for a throw. The referee wants to just hopefully break up play and allow Kajuste, one would imagine, to come off. Yeah, the piece of paper's been handed over. That's a pity for him and for Ipswich Town.
Yeah, when he went down in this area in front of us just about sort of a minute ago, I looked at his face on the screen, and he sort of really winced. He had obviously hurt himself. He's tried to sort of carry on, but he's in a lot of pain, and I think you'll be seeing the end of him now.
Seemed to be, I think it was Bentancur sort of fell on top of his ankle. That seems to be the problem. Thankfully, it didn't look as if it was twisted under Bentancur. It was fairly flat, but it's obviously hurt him. Yeah, Bentancur is standing over him. It's Jack Taylor who's getting a nod. That's interesting. A good shout as well from Kieran McKenna. Maybe if his side was ahead in this game, it might be Morsey, but Taylor is obviously more offensive and will go in alongside Phillips. And a partnership we've seen a great deal of this season in the league. But off goes Kajuste. On comes Taylor, the hero at Wolves. What can he do here this afternoon for Ipswich Town?
Yeah, I think he's going for sort of legs, basically. Over Sam Morsey again. He's thinking that he does need a lot of mobility in there, and Jack Taylor certainly gives you more than what Sam does.
Yeah, undoubtedly. He can have an impact, Taylor. On he comes. This play's about to get underway. Town's second change of the song. The Super Jack Taylor song is being sung by the majority inside Portman Road. It's going to be a throw-in far side. Taylor almost wins it for Ipswich Town, but it's come off from the Tottenham player and out behind goal kick to Alex Palmer. 7 gone in the second half. Not too much in the way of goal-mouth activity from either of these two teams. Greaves gives the ball to Palmer. It's going to be Palmer who kicks this off the edge of his 6-yard area. Town have opted not to go short. As Mick was saying, it's definitely a back four of O'Shea at right back, Wolfenden and Greaves in the middle. And of course, Leif Davis underneath us on the left. Here is Palmer, beaten twice in that first half. Headed on by Taylor, the substitute. Gray gets underneath it as he's shoved to the floor by Delap, spotted by the referee. Watch his frustrations are Liam Delap. It's been a while since he had an opportunity at the goal in this game.
Well, this half hasn't really got going, not like
has
the
it?
first half, and this will obviously suit Tottenham. 2-1 in front. They don't really want anything that's particularly entertaining at the moment, but I still feel that we're going to see a number of goals in this half, and this one, the next one, is the important one. If it goes to Tottenham, they'll be able to sort of carry playing in their relaxed way, but if they do concede one, then I think you could see a totally different Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah, I agree. I was kind of wondering if we might get a Sarmiento moment this season in this game. Don't rule it out. Town's still in it at the moment. Let's see how ambitious Tottenham are to go 3-1 up. Gray down the line, good ball to Kulusevski. Wide right is Tell. Across will go Wolfenden against the teenager. Tell stands on the ball, goes away from Wolfenden, comes in, fielder number 11 for Tottenham. Needs support, pulls the ball back to Danso. Danso drops his shoulder, gets away from Phillips. Didn't fancy a shot in the end, he might as well have done. So it's a terrible pass which rolls down the tunnel. Goal kick to Alex Palmer.
Yeah, awful pass. He sort of jinked inside, he got into sort of deep water, he didn't really know quite what he was doing, and he's played a pass to, I think it was sort of aimed for Spence, but Spence wasn't sort of thinking at all about making that type of run.
Hutchinson just called over for a word or two from Kieran McKenna. Hardly touched the ball, if at all, in this second half. Hutchinson, 9.5 gone. Not a great deal happening in this game, which didn't really say at all in that first half. Davis gets the ball from Palmer, volleys it back to Greaves. Greaves lifts it over the top of Johnson. Davis in field, less than convincing. Paul from Ipswich. Kulusevski puts a high ball into the box over the top of Wolfen, and Palmer came and took control. Well done by the goalkeeper. That would have been an awful chance to have given away by Ipswich Town. Kieran McKenna really unhappy.
Well, you've got a problem here where Luke Wolfenden's tried to instruct everybody into saying, well, this is what Kieran wants us to do. The goalkeeper is reluctant to actually do it, and Jacob Greaves is taking up a half and half position where it's one that you don't really want the ball.
Hutchinson carrying the ball forward far side. Bergvall brings him down. The referee says nothing wrong with the challenge. His assistant far side kept his flag down. He got a really good view of it. Play continues. Vicario's out of his area at right back, gives the ball to Spence. Spence under pressure from Clark. He's robbed him. Jack Clark inside the Tottenham area. The former Spurs player tries to pick out Taylor. Unlucky not to find him. Town win it back deep inside Tottenham territory. Clark kicks the ball in by the north stand. Can Town test Tottenham defensively for the first time in the second half? Not initially, because the ball's gone back to the centre circle. At least Ipswich have a foot on the ball. O'Shea to Philogene. Hardly seen him in the second half either. Hutchinson just cushions it back to O'Shea on the centre spot. Half-time substitute Wolfenden. 2-1 Tottenham. Greaves to the left. Davis carries the ball in field, gives it to Taylor, who looks up. Delap's making a run. Taylor plays the ball drifting out to the left-hand side. Davis will get there, see if he can do anything with it. He goes down, so to Bray, and it's an Ipswich Town ball.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, that's a silly challenge again by Gray. He really, I mean, he's doing an okay job as a defender. That's not his natural position, but he does some strange things, and that was a strange thing as well. Unnatural defending.
Yeah, overly confident at times. Free kick, wide left for Ipswich Town, just a yard from the corner flag. Essentially a corner in all but name. It's Leif Davis on this set piece. Let's see what he can do. He's been a chance-creating machine since he arrived at Ipswich Town. Let's see what the Geordie can do from this latest opportunity to hopefully put a good ball into the Tottenham area and totally cancel out what was their 2-0 lead at one stage. This has to be an opportunity for Ipswich Town. Let's see if we can make the most of it. The referee just doing some housekeeping. All eyes on the penalty area off to our left. Leif Davis with this wide left free kick. It's going to be an away swinger from Vicario's goal line. 2.5 minutes shy of the hour mark. Deep to the far post from Davis. Headed away well by Danso. Brought down by Philogene. Out to Hutchinson. Hutchinson gives it to Phillips, who slipped. Two players are on him. It's very unfortunate there. And then Johnson, as he pulled back by Clark. I hope not, he's on a yellow. No, the referee says play on. Ooh, that almost a fatal slip from Phillips. Town got away with it. Davis finds Hutchinson on the centre spot, roared on by the home crowd who still believe. Now Philogene, one-on-one with the doggy, comes in field after a step over. Still Philogene, brought down was it by a doggy? Yes, free kick says the referee. Sloppy from the doggy. Good position this for Town.
Yeah, good position. A little bit fortunate to get a free kick, I think, because it wasn't really much of a challenge at all. He was going nowhere, Philogene, but it's a free kick and it's in a dangerous area.
It is mild here this afternoon. Kieran McKenna's overcoat is off. That waving of his arms a few moments here has warmed him up a little bit too much. Hutchinson and Phillips just working out what they're going to do from this free kick. Mr. Robinson's yet to mark out the line after his 10-yard walk. Off he goes. The Tottenham wall's going to be dragged back a few yards inside their penalty area. It's about 23 yards from goal, this one. He's painted his line, the Tottenham players, begrudgingly, at snail's pace. Have had to regroup behind it. Vicario, very animated, very vocal on his goal line. Crouching down on his left post as he eyes this one up. We're about to reach the hour mark at Portman Road. Town trail Tottenham 2-1, but they have a free kick 23 yards from goal, right of centre. It's almost certain that Amari Hutchinson's going to hit this one, and we don't rule out Calvin Phillips just yet. Certainly going to be one of those two as Town hunt an equaliser. The referee's blown his whistle. It's going to be Hutchinson who hits it up into the wall. Back it goes to Phillips. He has a go. The wall does its job a second time. Out to Hutchinson. Hutchinson crosses towards the far stick. Wolfenden! Look, Wolfenden! But the flag has gone up against him. It won't be his first Premier League goal, and it is still 2-1.
Yeah, I think so. The flag went up immediately. He was taking up a great position. He's completely on his own on this back post. Maybe he's just offside. There's quite a few. There's about
there aren't there?
4 offside players.
Oh, what a shame for him. It'll be a lovely moment if and when it comes. The Ipswich boy, but can't have any complaints. The celebration was about to be something very special as well.
The only thing you would say that he was in a terrific position, so free that he could have just stopped himself from making the early run. He didn't have to make an early run. He was in a great position. He could have just taken his time.
Well, then there would have been half an hour for either of these sides to get a winner, but it's still 2-1 Tottenham. Phillips wins a header in midfield, straight towards Delap. Off he goes, has support to the left-hand side, tried to carry on. Caught, was he? Delap's gone down in pain. Spence has the ball for Tottenham. Mr. Robinson unimpressed. Gray. We got through 16 minutes of the second half without a fourth goal in this game. Udogie gives it to Son, such a thorn in Ipswich Town side in that first half. The Korean captain, and captains his country as well as Tottenham. Danso back to Vicario. Vicario up to Bentancur. The sliding interception was tried by Taylor. Tottenham have broken beyond the press. They get to halfway. Danso gives it to Bergvall. Bergvall is a useful player in midfield. Great run from Bergvall, really strong. Gives it to Kulusevski into the area. Chance for Johnson's hat-trick. Great block from Davis. That was being steered towards the far corner of the net by Johnson.
That was wonderful defending. Well done, Leif Davis in the end. That was a terrific sweeping move by Tottenham. I thought they were going to go all the way down the left-hand side. There were good runs into those areas. There were possibilities, but they decided to switch the play quickly and swiftly, and they got this opportunity right inside the box on an angle, but a terrific block.
Bergvall's a good player for Tottenham. He didn't start at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. I think he might have come off the bench, but for a 19-year-old in his first season in English football, he's looked a player, big strong boy as well. Son with Tottenham's first corner kick of the second half. They lead 2-1. You probably heard the referee's whistle there. He's unhappy with something. Has to be a retake off to our right-hand side. It's a word with Archie Gray and Leif Davis, two former Leeds players in direct opposition inside the Ipswich Town 6-yard area. Both of them having a bit of a smile. Big grin on Leif's face at the moment. It was good defending from him. Son with this corner kick for Tottenham. 2-1 they lead at Portman Road, and it comes low, hasn't been dealt with just yet. Bergvall back to goal, still has it for Tottenham, turns, shouldn't have been allowed to do that, round the corner, tries to give it to Dan, so it runs away from him. O'Shea runs into the big man, it's a goal kick.
Yeah, that's a bit silly of Dara O'Shea.
I thought that.
Ridiculous. I don't think the player would have actually quite reached the ball, but for Dara to do that,
yeah, that's what saved him.
Absolutely crazy. You just give referees an opportunity to make certain decisions, and that was daft.
Maddison being booed as he comes up for obvious reasons that I mentioned earlier on, and Pedro Porro, who tends to play fullback for Tottenham. That was Johnson's final chance to get a hat-trick. He's one of the players coming off for Maddison. So be a slight tinker to who plays where for Tottenham, I would have thought. And the other alteration for Spurs is Porro is coming on for Udogie. Udogie is just back from injury. He was on the bench last weekend. This is his first start in a little while. So Spence will go to left back. Porro, as he tends to, will go right back. And then maybe Kulusevski will go out to the right-hand side because Maddison will be one of the three midfielders. But yes, it was just the fact that Dancer was never going to get onto that ball that got O'Shea off the hook. Otherwise, that would have been an awful penalty to have given away. Greaves up towards Jack Clark. Clark's left to Davis. Stands still have it in the left-back area. Greaves digs out his clearance up towards halfway. In the 20th minute of the second half, Bentancur gets the better of Delap. Volleyed forward by Davis. Up goes Delap again against Bentancur. Danso wins the header. Delap and Bentancur have a tangle. Referee's blown his whistle. He wants a word with Liam Delap. He's just walking a bit of a tightrope at the moment in terms of his discipline through sheer frustration, having not scored in that first 5-6 minutes, and chances been at a premium now. I think that maybe could be time for Hurst to replace Delap. Kieran McKenna certainly calls somebody back towards the dugout, although the first one to return is Nathan Broadhead, and he is getting stripped off for action. Far side Maddison obviously being booed. Maddison down the left-hand side looking for Son. Lovely ball, real talent. Maddison in on Son is Philogene, and the referee, to the disbelief of the Tottenham captain, has given Ipswich Town a throw-in.
Yeah, as you say, Maddison is a really good player. We remember him very well up the A140. He was a wonderful player up there.
Yeah, he's had a good career. Oh, lovely feet from Bergvall. Maddison to Son, wide left outside the Ipswich Town area. Wrestling with Hutchinson. Hutchinson's brought him down. Cheap free kick, poor free kick given away by Hutchinson. It's a chance for Tottenham to swing a ball into the Ipswich area. Maddison will fancy this set piece as well. 66 on the clock, live on BBC Radio Suffolk Sports. Still no goals in this second half, and none that have been allowed anyway. Wolfenden's header chalked off for offside correctly as well. No need for VAR to get involved in that one. Broadhead about to come on for Ipswich. Maddison in front of the Tottenham fans singing his name over on the far side of Portman Road. There he stands. Former Leicester City and Norwich player. In comes his free kick, plucked out the air by Palmer. Nice take from him. Easy as you like.
Beautifully taken. There was a lot of pace on that ball. He had to sort of work his feet quickly, and he had to take that cleanly.
Taylor gets the ball from Palmer, gives it to Wolfen, far side O'Shea. O'Shea looks over the top towards Delap, trying to get between two defenders. Delap might get onto it. He's left both defenders on the deck. I didn't think there was much in that at all, if anything. But the referee is blown up for a foul by Liam Delap. I just think he was too cute and clever for the two defenders and played them a treat. Here comes Broadhead.
Again, that was poor defending. 2 against 1, and they've allowed Delap to actually bully them. And again, it's Archie Gray going down very lightly.
Broadhead on for Clark. The remainder of this game, exactly at the midway point, actually. 22.5 minutes gone in this second half. Live on BBC Radio Suffolk. Town trailing 2-1. Philogene stands on the ball, lost it, a little bit sloppy from him. Spence has wriggled out of that challenge. Son now has it, trying to take on Philogene and O'Shea far side. Son still has the ball, across comes Wolfenden. Now behind for a corner kick to Tottenham.
Yeah, he's just worked all the way down to the corner flag with one thing in mind: I'll just win a corner kick here, and there's not much you can do about it as a defender.
Tottenham take the corner kick short. Son inside the Ipswich area, trying to get the better of Calvin Phillips. They played against each other a few times. Maddison on the ball, the number 10 for Tottenham, still being booed by the home crowd. Spence. Maddison gets the ball back and gives it to Bentancur. There he is again. Maddison, little poke between the lines, finds Spence, wants to take on Phillips. Spence eventually has to go back to Maddison. Ian Bergvall play keep ball. Tottenham still with the bulk of the possession. Down the far side, Maddison trying to get it forward to Bergvall. In the way was Philogene. He gives it to Hutchinson. Here come Ipswich Town. What can they do on the counter? Hutchinson still has the ball. Plays that to the left-hand side, and Davis just inside the Tottenham half. Infield from him to Broadhead, just on the field. His blue socks pulled up over his knees, the Welshman. Gets it back from Greaves. Broadhead just south of the centre circle. Off the outside of his right boot finds Phillips. Phillips to O'Shea. Now Philogene, what can he do? One-on-one with Spence. This is an opportunity for him to shine. Philogene thought about crossing in, eventually does get the ball into the middle, headed away by Danso. As far as Taylor, takes it on his chest, won't sit down for a shot, so he pops it off to his right-hand side, and Phillips. There is Luke Wolfenden, getting away from Tell with a drag back, floating a ball high to the right. Way too high for Philogene. That's disappointing.
Yeah, he saw the pass to the far touchline. He could have gone in a couple of stages through people, which he should have done, but he's tried to go as quickly as possible to the player right wide on the right, Philogene, but he's overhit it.
25 minutes gone in the second half. Spence brought down by Phillips. The ball is with Philogene. Philogene tries to find Broadhead, and then there's a stretch from Taylor. Tottenham get it away though. Kulusevski won by Davis. Nothing wrong with the challenge. The referee's done the right thing. Play continues. Taylor to Hutchinson. Hutchinson has Philogene overlapping wide right outside the Tottenham area. In comes his cross towards the far stick. Chested down by Broadhead. Shoots blocked away. He did have the time to chest it and have a shot. And in goes Phillips. Wins it off Tell. Wolfenden. Maybe signs that Ipswich Town are going to have a spell. Davis back to Greaves. Infield to Taylor. Come on Ipswich. It's got the fans up and vocal. O'Shea towards Philogene, stands over the ball, faces up to Spence, bypasses him with a pass to Hutchinson. Hutchinson goes through the gears, wide right, has elected not to cross just yet. Hutchinson's run towards the area, great running from towards the byline, and he's won Ipswich Town only their second corner of the game.
Yeah, terrific run by Omari Hutchinson. I thought he could have possibly just got the ball in a little bit quicker, but he's just desperately trying to get to that byline so he can cut one back.
Town have a free kick in front of the Sir Bobby Robson stand off to our left. 19 minutes to go. They trail Tottenham 2-1. Leif Davis to swing it in or pull it back, which is what he's done. He's found Philogene, who's then turned it back to Hutchinson. Hutchinson's attempted ball's cut out. Town made a mess of that. Not good at all. Tell carries it up to the halfway line for Tottenham. Out to the left-hand side, Kulusevski. Kulusevski can't keep it in. But that was a waste from Ipswich Town's perspective. Quickly taken through, Delap has missed it. In goes Bentancur, and the ball is back with Palmer.
Yeah, what a waste by Tottenham there. That was a terrific opportunity to break and go clear, but they just made the mistake. That was good for us, bad for them.
Davis looking into the middle towards Delap, diving header away from Danso. Ipswich have another chance to come forward. Hutchinson, Bentancur sold himself. Hutchinson to the right. Philogene just inside the Tottenham area. Little step over, then another one. Still Philogene has it, pulls it back to Son. What was he thinking? Again, Town in a promising position. And goes Greaves. He and Kulusevski tangle. Broadhead has the ball on the near side. Spurs about to make a double substitution. Taylor for Ipswich. Can he be the hero once again? Dane Scarlett, one of those coming on. Wilson Odobert, former Burnley player as well. Davis is shoved onto the ball by Kulusevski. Poor challenge by the Tottenham player.
He's angry, Kulusevski. He really is.
Referees are happy with this free kick. So, two fresh faces coming on for Tottenham. Let's see who's going to get replaced. One of those is Tell. He's gone off to be replaced by Scarlett. Of course, didn't really take off from here, Dane Scarlett. He's been at Oxford earlier on this season, scored some goals in the Championship, but it was 12 sub-appearances for Town last season. The other change is Son, who's going to be coming off. Let's go back to Graham for goal news.
Still Arsenal 0, West Ham 1, Palace 2 up at Fulham, Brighton 3 up at Southampton, Wolves sadly still ahead at Bournemouth.
Wow, that's a heck of a result for Wolves if they can hang on to that. I mean, they nearly got a result at Liverpool last weekend, but that's a wonderful victory if it is coupled with an Ipswich Town defeat. A perfect afternoon for Vitor Pereira and his old gold. On comes Audebert for Son. Good player, Audebert. He's been out injured for a feral while, the Frenchman. Davis with this free kick, left-footed, hits it high diagonally across the area off to our left. Up goes O'Shea, belts into Dancer, who's gone down holding his face. And the referee just wants to check on Dancer. Ange Postecoglou was less than impressed by the challenge from O'Shea.
Yeah, this half hasn't had the fluency that the first half had, but there's the potential of a lot of mistakes out there in this half. I think Tottenham are prone to a mistake in defence, which we might just capitalise on, but also we have a tendency to lose the ball just outside the Tottenham penalty area, where we are slightly exposed to a breakaway. They haven't cashed in on it yet, but there's a chance they could do. So again, it could go either way.
Stern word with Dara O'Shea, just reminding him to watch his step. Exactly 15 minutes to go at Portman Road, and a game that heading into it, I think we all believed Ipswich Town were more than capable of getting something from. They still trail 2-1. Maddison plays the ball forward up onto the chest of Audebert. In goes Phillips. Phillips doesn't really win the ball. Bergvall is on it. Bergvall gets it through the legs of Philogene. Philogene then challenges Maddison. Maddison rolls along the ground. It's a Tottenham ball on the far side. Tottenham fans applauding Jed Spence and James Maddison. It's going to be Maddison taking this free kick. Kieran McKenna's thoughts to come before 6 o'clock. He was very welcome after 5 as well. 0800 141 2121. As O'Shea intercepts the ball from Maddison in for Audebert. Infield from Hutchinson, sloppy. Danso gets on it. I'll give you the other numbers in a moment. Tottenham on the prowl, wide left. It's Audebert up against Philogene, back defending. Then picks up Maddison on the left corner of the Ipswich area. Tottenham playing it short in around the right back berth outside the Town box. All the way back to Bentancur. You can text 81333. Start those messages SFK or WhatsApp 08000 321 333. Start those with SFK as well, or email me brenner@bbc.co.uk. Audebert with a layoff to Spence. Spence attacking down the left-hand side, a weakness in the first half for Ipswich. Maddison, quick feet, good play. Maddison gets it back to Spence, shoots deflected. 3-1 Tottenham, it's all over. There'll be no double over Spurs this season for Ipswich Town. They're now heading towards their 7th defeat in 8 here. They're remaining in the bottom 3 of the Premier League table. That's the first goal of the second half, and it re-establishes Tottenham's 2-goal lead. Town 1, Spurs 3.
Yeah, and the wrong team has got that goal that could have changed the whole game. They've been a bit lucky. Maddison does nice little bit of work inside the penalty area, but this shot has got a massive deflection, and they've got lucky. It's gone on off Luke Wolfenden, over the top of Palmer. Nothing that Luke could do or Palmer could do, but Tottenham got lucky.
Yeah, they really did. Coupled with that Wolves lead at Bournemouth, a big afternoon this in Ipswich Town's battle for survival. And ultimately, if you get to the end of February in any season with one home win, your chances of staying up are extraordinarily slim. It's not good enough, is it? Just that Chelsea victory here. Hurst is stripped and ready for action. Down goes Phillips. As the lights go off in this near stand, TV cameras zooming in on Luke Wolfenden, unlucky in 2 senses. Wolfenden, A, being offside for the what would have been the headed equaliser, and B, that deflection which he could do Nothing about as the Tottenham players come across for a few words from the coaching staff of Ange Postecoglou. Phillips still down. Sam Morsey, just checking that he's got his tracksuit top off. So both starting midfielders being replaced because of injury in this game. Town haven't had the attacking threat in this second half, have they, Mick?
No, they've actually territorially sort of had the best of the second half, but they haven't really been able to do anything about it, and they haven't been creative enough, and that's been their downfall. And they've sort of, when they haven't been able to sort of get through that Spurs defence, they've tried silly things, chancy things. A lot of them have been sort of broken down, they've been dispossessed, and they've been vulnerable to a counter. They haven't done their best. They've got to somehow create sort of better opportunities to get back in these games, and this half they haven't been doing it. Philogene hasn't been successful down the right, we've been unsuccessful down the left, first of all with Clark and now with Broadhead. Omari Hutchinson's done his best work when he's drifted right, not gone through the middle. So we've been a little bit all over the place, really.
Phillips and Delap have gone off to be replaced by Morsey and Hurst. So a few of the former League One players have come on in this game. Wolfenden, Morsey, Hurst, Broadhead. Taylor from last year's Championship promotion winning side, trying to get Town back into this. If they can get one in the near future and make it 3-2, well, you never know. But surely Town's chances of a win have now gone. Wolfenden goes back to Palmer, not the home debut he was hoping for. Wolfenden to the far side, and O'Shea. It's a lovely late afternoon spring sunshine here at Portman Road. Wasn't too much bright about that kick from Palmer, though. Thanks to the groans from Mick Mills, but Tanner got away with it. Morsey in front of the back four, goes back to Wolfenden. There is O'Shea. So we'll hear from Kieran McKenna before 6, and hopefully an Ipswich Town player as well. Morsey up towards Broadhead. Broadhead clattered into from behind by Kulisevsky. A smack on the back of his head. He's down on all fours. Free kick to Ipswich. And the goal celebrations from Spence. Maddison was cupping his ears to the home supporters. Not a particularly clever thing to do. Morsey to O'Shea. Of course, Town will have Axel Tuanzebe back to face his former club on Wednesday night at Old Trafford. Taylor plays it to O'Shea. Full match commentary with Alex Maffey alongside me from Man United on Wednesday. Morsey goes back to Palmer. Greaves to Taylor. Taylor looking for Broadhead. Broadhead holding off Gray, which he should be able to do. Gray's impeded him. Free kick Ipswich inside their 9:30 to go.
Yeah, Tottenham have managed to tighten up in the midfield.
Greaves to Broadhead. Broadhead through the middle for Hutchinson. Can he get there? Vicaria's out of his area and passes it straight to Audebert. It's unlucky. It's a good attempted pass through the heart of the Tottenham midfield. Wasn't that far away from giving Hutchinson a real opportunity to go in on goal. Maddison closed down by Morsey. Morsey has a little nibble at him. Maddison was trying to be clever. Here is Porro, the Spaniard. Wasteful pass from him, curled off the outside of his right boot all the way to Vicario. And here's a player who really can cross the ball, Porro. Not his best connection there. Wolfenden, who came on at half-time for Godfrey. Godfrey had a torrid first half against Son. O'Shea to Greaves. Leif Davis back in an orthodox left-back position up towards Hurst. Lovely touch from Hurst to Taylor, getting Ipswich down on the front foot. Back it goes towards Hurst. Can he get the better of Danso? Danso fell down on the ball. Free kick against Hurst. Had it not been, he'd been in on goal, but probably a fair shout from Mr. Robinson.
Yeah, we did well. We a little exchange of passes, and Hurst looked as if he was going to do Danso for pace, but Danso just found an extra little yard and got himself between the Hurst and the goalkeeper, and it is a foul. I'm just thinking that Tottenham have tightened up in that midfield. They've got a midfield five now. Son's gone off. He's been replaced by Odebert, who plays further in. He doesn't play so much on the touchline. He comes in, and Kulusevski's come from a more central position to a wide right position, and he plays off the touchline. So they've got a 5-man midfield, very, very narrow.
7 minutes to go. Mick Mills alongside me on BBC Radio Suffolk Sport. Throw forward from Davis, controlled by Hurst, trying to get Broadhead involved. Bergvall tiptoeing along this near touchline, has kept the ball in. Back it goes to Danso. Danso clears up to the halfway line. The flick header on from Scarlett works out well to Kulusevski. Kulusevski down the right-hand side. Might have to go it alone. He's capable of doing that. Inside the area, tries to pick his spot, and he has. It's a lovely finish from the Swede. Curled in off the far post. And it's number 4 for Tottenham. Town have got a man down off the ball. It's Jacob Greaves. They're complaining towards the referee that he should have blown up for a foul on the former Hull man. But this goal is going to stand, and it was a lovely curled finish beyond Palmer. And this one, sadly, is dead and buried with 6 to go. Spurs are winning 4-1 at Portman Road.
Well, you can't sort of say anything about the individual brilliance of Kulusevski. He's picked up the ball in a bit of freedom down this right-hand side. He's run with it. He's in full control of it. He's got himself into just inside the penalty area. He's cut inside, and his shot is absolutely perfect in off that far post. Absolutely perfect. Nothing the goalkeeper could do about it.
Lovely goal.
Great individual play. Whether play should have been stopped for Jacob Greaves, I don't know.
No, I'm not absolutely convinced either, and I wasn't looking actually at Kieran McKenna to see whether he was speaking to the fourth official. There's a clash of heads on halfway. The Tottenham player got up and carried on. Greaves sat down waiting for the whistle. Thankfully he seems to be all right. He's now protesting with the fourth official quite vocally and loudly. Greaves. Yves Bissouma is coming on for Tottenham, who've scored the only 2 goals in this second half. Let's say at half-time, this could be a 3-2 win for Ipswich Town, but it could be a 4 or 5 for Tottenham, and sadly that's the way it's panned out. It's their 3rd successive victory for the first time this season, and Town's wait for this first league win of the new year goes on as O'Shea has a little nibble at Scarlett, kicked forward by Wolfenden. There's Taylor and Morsey exchange passes. In goes Scarlett on Morsey. Keen to prove a point here, Scarlett, because his loan spell didn't work out. Town down to 10 men while Greaves comes on. While Greaves waits to come on. Now he has. Philogene goes back to O'Shea. Such a hope, but there's a lot of confidence in the minds of Town supporters heading here this afternoon that they'd get something from this game. Many fancying all 3 points, and to an extent I can understand that, but there always was this fear that this might happen. Wolfenden, lovely ball to Philogene. Excellent collection by Philogene. Surrounded by 3 white shirts. He still has it. Back the ball goes back to O'Shea. O'Shea comes in field out to the right-hand side, and Philogene. Chance for him to cross. Plays it off of Spence. Out it goes for a corner kick to Ipswich.
Philogene just can't quite get that yard that he needs to get a sort of decent cross in. He's trying to get there, but the defender seems to be up to his tricks, and he's having to cross balls, from positions that it's not on to cross.
Town's last 4 games here, an aggregate scoreline of 14-2. Not good at all so far. Corner kick to Ipswich, deep and high beyond the far post by Davis, headed into the side netting by O'Shea.
Could have done better.
Yep.
He could have got that back across the 6-yard box and not give a chance to the goalkeeper either, but for some reason he's headed it just into that side netting. It was an easy ball to just plant back into the danger zone.
O'Shea up against Odebert on the far side of the field. Both actually scored earlier on this season in the same game for Burnley against Luton. They know each other very well. Wolfenden wins the ball in midfield. Eventually finds its way out to Hurst on the left-hand side. Up against Gray. Pulled in field by Hurst. Taylor stretches, gets on the ball. Back it goes to Davis on the left. 3 minutes to go of normal time. Broadhead blocked off by Bentancur. Here is Kulusevski, who had to go it alone for that goal that he scored. He happily did. And it was a lovely finish. Here is Bentancur. Probably the standout contender for Tottenham's player of the season so far, Kulusevski. Of course, this defeat has also come at a cost in terms of Kayuste and Phillips's injuries. I imagine Kieran McKenna will know too much to talk about post-match, but at his pre-match press conference on Monday might give a hint as to whether either can start it or have a chance for Old Trafford a couple of days later. Full match commentary of Town at Man United. Match night on air from 7 on Wednesday. Maddison trying to play the ball around the back of O'Shea for Odegaard. Good looking ball. O'Shea does well to toe poke it back to Palmer, who for a second almost had an embarrassing moment of standing on the ball. Greaves to Davis. Davis goes back to Greaves. Greaves high towards the halfway line. Bentancur wins that header. In goes Morsey. Up in the air goes the ball. Porro nudges Broadhead. Free kick to Ipswich Town.
Yeah, no doubt about that. That's a free kick. Town are just sort of... I don't really know where this has come from. I really don't. I mean, we were up for the game. We started so well, and there was every opportunity here, and it's completely gone away from us in the second half.
Yeah, haven't offered much. Philogene on the right-hand side, taking on one of the goal scorers, Spence. Philogene with numerous step-overs. In comes his low cross. There might be a chance for Hurst. No. Intercepted by Danso, brought away by Gray. Gray goes up towards Scarlett. Pushed down by Wolfenden, says Mr. Robinson. It's a free kick, therefore, to Tottenham in the final minute of the 90.
Yeah, we had three players that were sort of in back post positions there, and they were wanting Philogene to actually go down the outside of his marker and get the cross in from there, but for a lot of this game he hasn't been able to actually beat his opponent and get in those areas. So in the end he's driven a low hard ball to nobody.
Here's Bentancur, crossfield ball, 2 targets to hit. Maddison brings it down. How he'd love to score at Portman Road. The former Norwich man inside the box still has it, needs a target in the centre, pulls it back to Odegaard. Poor first touch. Anything better than that, and that would have been a real opportunity for him to make it 5. Ball goes out this near side, just waiting for the fourth official to put his board up on the near side of the field to see how much added on time there is going to be. There's not going to be enough as far as Town are concerned to get anything from this, as a few supporters depart. 8 minutes though, not quite sure where that's come from.
It's a lot of minutes.
It's a lot of minutes. Here is Porro with this throw for Tottenham. Kieran McKenna, is it questioning that? Not too sure. He knows that his side's getting nothing from this game. Porro down the line to Bissouma, former Brighton player, tries to take on and beat Davis, but he can't. Davis stuck to the task well. Out goes the ball for a throw-in right on the halfway line to Ipswich Town left back. Back the ball goes to Greaves. And now Luke Wolfen and Kieran McKenna's thoughts to come. Yours very welcome as well in the final hour of match day. 0800 141 2121 to chat to Graham and Mick, or text 81333, start those messages. SFK WhatsApp 08000 321 333. Again, start those with SFK, and I look forward to chatting to you on the Blue Hour on Monday night on BBC Radio Suffolk between 6 and 7. Davis runs into Porro, starting his career at Manchester City as a kid. Pedro Porro just rested from the outset this afternoon. Greaves, who's on the deck when that fourth goal went in for Tottenham, ending that run of 4 successive defeats to Ipswich Town with their 3rd win in a row. Spurs. Wolfenden to Morsey. Might be needed from the start on Wednesday. Sam Morsey with those injuries earlier on. Morsey goes diagonally out to the left-hand side. Good ball. Davis brings it down on his trusty left instep up against Kulusevski. Kulusevski's toe poke is kept in by Jacob Greaves. Now Taylor. Still 6 minutes of added on time to go. We're only 2 deep. Wolfenden along the floor to Philogene. His first 90 minutes for Town. Overlapping is Hutchinson. Hutchinson's cross is deflected. 3rd corner kick of the half for the Blues.
Yeah, it's a better attack, and it's got Damari Hutchinson into a good position. He wins a corner kick from there, and it's a little opportunity. We've got some decent headers of the ball in there.
Corner kick to Ipswich Town. The points have gone, but can they score their 2nd goal of the afternoon? In it comes from Hutchinson, high to the far stick. O'Shea nods it back into a dangerous area, sliced away by Spence. Not a good connection, brought down by Broadhead, but he found Odegaard in his way. Scarlett into the path of Porro on the far side. The right back's turned left winger. Philogene gets back, takes the ball off Porro. Referee says play on. Porro stayed down holding his chin. Hutchinson for Ipswich Town over on the far side there right. Plays it early into the box towards Broadhead. Lovely ball. Broadhead brings it down. He could have shot first time there. He's gone down in the area. The referee says play on. Town can rebuild with Taylor. There's a man down inside the penalty box off to our left. It's Broadhead. Play continues with Amari Hutchinson getting himself into the Tottenham area. Still Hutchinson, still has it. His attempt is blocked off. Tottenham get it away as far as Scarlett. Bentancur's made a run. Scarlett's pass was neither one thing nor the other. O'Shea's going to be first to it far side for a throw-in. And the referee's just checking that everybody behind him is up and okay. Still this game continues. Don't know whether they're looking at a penalty on VAR for a slap to the face of Broadhead.
I wonder why everything had gone quiet.
Yeah.
I didn't sort of even think about that.
Checking possible foul play. Checking possible penalty for a foul. Yeah, confirmation of that. But play has continued. I don't think so. No foul. I think that's right. You could see that. On our replay screens here. Wolfenden to Greaves. Down the ball inside their half. Davis points forward to where he wants somebody to be. Then has to take on a couple of Tottenham players. Got the better of Kulusevski. Then he's fouled by Porro. Taylor wants the ball off Bissouma. And it's back with Greaves. So Tottenham with a little bit of momentum. They face Manchester City in the week. Out to the far side. Morsey gives the ball to Philogene. Philogene in behind to Hurst, wide right, up against Gray, now inside the Tottenham area, right of centre, into the middle he goes. Porro with a stretch, it was an important one. Danso completes the clearance. Now Scarlett's one-on-one with Wolfenden. They know each other's game from training last season. Scarlett still has the ball. Back comes O'Shea, takes the ball off of Scarlett, and it's still in on the far side of the field.
Just a bit unlucky there. That was good play by Luke Wolfenden in the end. He got the better on the one-to-one with Scarlett.
Davis to Taylor. Taylor plays it out to the far side. Lovely ball from Taylor to Philogene, who can't control it. Mistake from the former Aston Villa man, who applauds and also apologises in the direction of Jack Taylor.
Beautiful ball. Outside the right foot, it's travelled sort of 40 yards, if you like, and Philogene doesn't deal with it.
We have played 5.5 minutes of the added on 8. Still Ipswich Town 4-1 down. Morsey given the ball by Tottenham. Will not bother too much about that. Here is Greaves. Give it back to Morsey in the middle of the Tottenham half. Morsey forward to Broadhead, back to goal just outside the area. A couple of short touches of his own, then he's given it to Davis. Davis gives it back to Broadhead. He uses Greaves behind him. 40 yards from goal. Broadhead holds the ball up against Bentancur. Greaves now tries to take on the Uruguayan, goes down on the ball, wins a free kick.
Yes.
We're into the 7th minute of the added on 8. So Tottenham's Ipswich Town's wait for that first double of the season goes on. Of course, they've still got Wolves here. They've got to go to Chelsea, but it won't happen against Spurs. Not since that third goal went in really for Tottenham. Davis, diagonal across field towards O'Shea, headed away not very far by Scarlett. Philogene has it wide right outside the Tottenham area, finds some room for a cross, and it's deflected into the hands though of Vicario.
Yeah, he's done well. He's done well. Spencer's done really well to play right back and then left back, and he's not really sort of given any of our wide players any sort of chance at all. That cross has come in, and it's a deflected cross. It's not from a free area.
A deflected cross that had deflated Portman Road. It's very, very quiet. Lots of people have departed. They're still here, not making much noise at all, other than the Tottenham fans. Kicked forward by Vicario. In goes Spence. Studs showing, but he won the ball. Play continues. Maddison runs it up to halfway. Cuts in field against Morsey. Maddison out to the right-hand side, gives it to Porro. To his right-hand side is Kulusevski, who made it 4-1. Final minute of the added-on 8. He just plays it off of Basuma, gets it back to Gray. 30 seconds to go in this game, which was won a little while ago, in all honesty. Tottenham just trying to play down the clock before the two managers shake hands. Job well done for Tottenham Hotspur. Danso in his side of the half, in his side of the field, should I say. Final 5 seconds, according to my watch. The referee checks his. Tottenham have all 3 points, as Mr. Robinson brings to an end our latest full match commentary on BBC Radio Suffolk. No double over Tottenham for Ipswich Town. It's another defeat at home, their 7th in 8 here, and they will reach the end of February having won once on this pitch all season. They're clearly staring down the barrel of relegation with that record. 4-1 Tottenham have won this game here this afternoon.
Yeah, and I think that the whole story is basically we weren't able to play a minute of the game actually in front. So, you know, we were never able to play the relaxed style that Tottenham like to play. You know, had we have managed to maybe force one of those chances that we created in that first sort of 5-6 minutes, then it might have been a different story. You know, you would have maybe seen a nervous Spurs, you might have seen a confident Town, but we were unable to sort of get that first goal. Tottenham got it. They got another one pretty quickly afterwards, and for Tottenham that makes the whole afternoon much easier, and for Town much more difficult. You know, and that's how it was. You know, we could never really. We got the one goal back, which was nice, gave us a bit of hope up to half time, but then in the second half we just didn't create the chances to get back on terms at 2-2, and in the end it was Tottenham who managed to sort of go from 2-1 to 3-1 to 4-1, and constantly all the way through that second half looked pretty comfortable, you know. So we were unable to play our best stuff when we really needed to do it, and that was in the second half. You know, there were, I mean, I don't know how good Tottenham are, but this is a bad defeat for Town. It really is, you know, because a lot of people expected, you know, to gain possibly 4 points from these two fixtures. We now have played one, no points. Makes things extremely difficult up at Old Trafford, but we're going to have to go and do it. We just didn't create enough. The sort of early on, you know, I thought that the threesome of Philogene, Hutchinson and Clark was going to sort of work well around Liam Delap, who started really well. So that's always a good sign when those 4 attackers start well and look as if they can do a lot of things, but they did peter out, I must admit, and by the end of the game you've got to say that Philogene was a disappointment wide on the right. Amari Hutchinson, I know he's got his goal, but he constantly doesn't do enough as the number 10 for me. He wanders a lot over to the right hand side, almost like he needs that little bit of breath of fresh air that you get from the wide areas to do his stuff. And then of course we've tried Clark on the left, we've then tried Broadhead on the left, and really nothing's happening there, you know. So I think we've got to start sort of playing Amari on the right hand side, and we've got to find ourselves a useful number 10. I do believe that Enciso is the one. I hope he's fit for the game up at Old Trafford, because if there were, I think Connor Chaplin is a 10, and a definite 10 and a good 10, but I'm not sure about at this level. But Enciso in one game showed me that he can be a 10 and he can lift Liam Delap's game. We've got to find the number 10 and a good number 10 to make the whole thing happen. And also we've got a problem now at right fullback, we really have. You know, I'm not sure what Kieran will do there. Will he carry on with Dara O'Shea? I'm not sure.
Tuanzebe will be back running on Wednesday night.
Well, that would be nice if he is, but again, you know, he's not the full ticket, Tuanzebe, because he gives you what you need defensively. He doesn't give you what you need in the final 35 yards of the pitch. So You know, we do have slight problems in our team that we're not fulfilling at the moment. And we've certainly got problems in as much that we can't gain the results we need, but there are also sort of glaring positions that need attention, and it's getting a little bit late to give it the attention.
Yeah, 7 now without a win for Ipswich Town. They remain the only Premier League side without a victory in 2025 in terms of the Premier League anyway. Fingers crossed they break that sequence at Old Trafford on Wednesday night. Our next full match commentary is Manchester United versus Ipswich Town. This afternoon, sadly, Town have lost this game by 4 goals to 1. Tottenham take the 3 points back to London.